ABC Sport.
We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening. Welcome to the 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls round with ABC Sport.
Front and centre, Bobby Hill, where he should be, where he always is. Bobby Drill's got a couple.
Hello, I'm Charlie King, an ABC broadcaster and a proud Gurindji man. Over my 30 years in broadcasting, there's no disputing that Australian rules football has had a challenging history with its Indigenous players. From the heartbreaking...
93 against Collingwood at Victoria Park. I did what I had to do. I pointed to my skin and said, I'm black and I'm proud.
...to the groundbreaking.
Here is Buddy Franklin on 999 goals. He steps forward now. He's done it! A legend joins the Immortals.
And of course, the breathtaking.
Away goes Michael Long. Still going. 30 metres out. Oh, what play! It may have been touched on the line. No! One of the plays of the year.
The Sir Doug Nicholls round.
We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. This round is a chance to focus on those that lead the way and set the standard.
Please have conversations with your kids, your friends. Have those uncomfortable conversations because that's the only way, like I said, that we're going to move forward in this nation.
Like all who play at the highest level, our Indigenous players have a varied path to the bright lights of the AFL, and this round lets us celebrate those journeys and hear their stories. This game is brilliant.
High up and under, Raycon upstairs with the hang.
And our Indigenous players are brilliant.
It spills to Dudley. He's so deadly.
And I believe we can use that combination to make everyone better in all walks of life.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls round.
So sit back, reflect and enjoy the call as we celebrate our culture and shine a spotlight on the best Indigenous players in our game.
To Burgoyne from 45, heads home and strikes.
Outside of the boot, it's a Rioli special.
Iffy at the top of 50, eyes the sticks, fires away and kicks a brilliant goal. Kicks it to Keziah Pickett, one out the cage. Cozzy burns him off, and then a little hand back to him as well as he pumps it up into the second tier.
Welcome to the 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls round with ABC Sport on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
The voice of the wonderful Charlie King, and it's great to welcome you to Perth Stadium with two sides have embraced the Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. The Eagles today and next week, known as Woolwich Marrawa, standing for Eagles of the West, while St Kilda, the Saints, for these rounds to be known as You Wrote. Clint Wilden with you. It's been a very tough 24 hours or so for the WA, indeed the entire Australian football community around the nation. And the West Coast certainly will be dealing with the awful news, the death of Adam Selwood, one of their premiership players, passing away yesterday. We'll pay tribute to him very shortly. But it's going to be a challenge for everyone involved in the club, indeed everyone involved in football in this state, with the news that Adam Selwood is no longer with us. Clint Wilden alongside Mitch Turner. Mitch, how are you dealing with it all?
Clint, it's been a big 48 hours, 24 hours really for the West Coast community, and I'm hoping that the fans turn up today to honour Adam Selwood after his passing. And I think this football club, this community, the players, the staff, everyone involved and attached and who supports the club would love to see a strong performance today, because I think they need something to lift them just a little bit. I know it's just football, but that is the reason. Adam Selwood meant so much to so many people. That was their relationship with him. So, and a round which we also honour Sir Doug Nicholls round and everything that comes with that, and we don't gloss over that at all, as you said. But it's a big day for the West Coast Football Club and Woolwich Marrawa today. It
would be remiss of us not to talk to our experts. Sharad Wellingham joined the West Coast Eagles the year after Adam Selwood had retired from the club, but no doubt knows a fair bit about him from around the place, and I know that Peter Bell would have gone head-to-head with him on many occasions. Gentlemen, welcome to you both. How's everyone that you know in the WA football community dealing with this news, the loss of Adam Selwood?
Yeah, I actually spent a year with Sellers. I came over at the end of 12, and I think he finished at the end of 13. So I did spend 1 year with him. It's been really tough. Found out yesterday morning. I was actually with Belly. We were down at Fremantle Oval about to go out and do the 18s game yesterday, and the news obviously started filtering through. Yeah, it really hit me like a ton of bricks, to be honest. And the family has been through so much trauma over the last few months, and Adam was such a kind and caring person, a great leader. I think that was one of the things that I admired most about Adam, was how much strength he had through his leadership, and just a super caring and kind person. I don't think anybody could have a bad word to say about Sellers. And I was obviously really close with Scoot, his younger brother, and that's kind of where my heart immediately went to, was, my mate that I was a lot closer with than Sellers, who I only got to spend 1 year with. But, then you just think about the rest of the family, the extended family, how much hurt that they're going to be going through. And I know that the AFL community will absolutely wrap their arms around them and make them feel loved and make them cherish the amazing memories that they would have all have of Sellers. But yeah, it's a really challenging week for everyone who was lucky enough to know him.
Peter Bell?
Yeah, just well said, Sharad. Just the extreme sadness, and I don't know the Selwood family well. You're right, Clint. Played against Adam directly on a number of occasions, and he was an unbelievably difficult opponent, but really, really fair. Sometimes you'd play against taggers who would bend the rules and be nasty, but Adam always played the ball and played the opponent very fairly. And you could just see the respect that his teammates had for him and his willingness to always put the team first. And it's those qualities and attributes that have been expressed by so many already that demonstrate the impact that he's had on an enormous community. But the extreme sadness for his family, the unimaginable grief that they're going through, all you can do is support them in whichever way you can. The loved ones, the children, siblings, parents, extended family. Shocking news yesterday, and I think the whole community is still reeling from it, as you'd expect.
He was an unbelievable professional, both on and off the field. Any dealings that I was lucky enough to have with him, he was a man of principle, a man of integrity. He will be remembered, of course, as a premiership player, but also should be remembered for what he did at West Coast in helping set up their AFLW. Just the way that they were going about things for what Adam Selwood has done. And I know all of us are just absolutely rocked by the news that he's no longer with us, Adam Selwood. 187 games for the West Coast Eagles, including that 2006 premiership. Let's reflect on his time at the West Coast Eagles.
Number 37, Adam Selwood.
As the Eagles continue to run, Selwood found some room, goes for home. Magnificent goal from the West Coast Eagles. Superb football.
So the boundary throw in. Cox knocks it down. Johnson again decisively. Duncan gets out of trouble. Comes looking for Selwood. Netters a kick. The ball goes down towards Hartford. The mark is taken by Podsy Adley. Selwood goes back on Selwood. The Selwoods clashing now for any overseas viewer. Selwood is not the Aussie equivalent of Smith everywhere else in the world. There are actually three brothers playing in this particular game, which does make us, I know, seem like a very small country.
It's funny, they obviously love each other dearly, the Selwood brothers, but they want to hurt each other when they're on the field as opponents. Selwood gets steady for 45. He kicks a beauty. This bloke's been as good as anyone. It's just been a surprise packet, really.
Well, Kerr's been outstanding, so has Judd, but I reckon this young man, Adam Selwood, has just been best on ground. There's the turnover. And Selwood, who got KO'd by Mark Rashudo in round 22, missed last week, a late inclusion today. He's had 22 disposals, 4 marks, 2 inside 50s, and has put the Eagles now in front to the tune of 33.
It was a key moment for the West Coast Eagles. It got them into the 2005 Grand Final. Some of the highlights you just heard a moment ago. Selwood absolutely outstanding at Subiaco Oval that day against Adelaide in the preliminary final. Both teams are out on the ground. The West Coast Eagles are going to have to deal with what they've gone through in the last 24 hours or so. Our people come from places near and far. Today we play as Woolwich Marrawa. That's what the Eagles are known as throughout the Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. And Euroke, the Saints, warming up to the right of our broadcast position. It's going to be an interesting battle, this one. The midfield in particular and the ruck contest around the clearances. And I'm really keen. Last time they went head-to-head, Harley Reid started with a bang and then St Kilda closed him down. In the second half, Harley Reid had no way out of St Kilda's tag. Do they do that again today, the Saints, with Harley Reid? And how will this game be played out? Let's find out from our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital. Gents, what are we expecting?
Well, it proves to be a really interesting contest today. Although West Coast are winless so far this season, I think their last month, Sharad, has been okay. There's been longer periods where they've been competitive. Narrow loss to Essendon, narrow loss to Richmond. I thought that the Hawthorn margin in the end flattered Hawthorn a little bit. I think it was a closer game than what the 50 points reflected. And I think a real key area today, and it's stating the obvious, will be to be more competitive at stoppage, West Coast, particularly centre bounce, get a bit of territory, and then block in St Kilda from any sort of bounce out of half-back. We know that they're dangerous doing that, whether that's Sinclair or Wanganeen Millera. If you are able to match St Kilda at clearance and stoppage, I think that you can get enough looks to put a whole lot of pressure in them forward.
I think that's a really good point. That is slowing St Kilda down out of the West Coast Eagles forward line. My concern for them at the moment, we don't know where they're lining up at the moment, but is that forward line a little bit too tall? Is it going to be hard for them to slow down Wanganeen Millera and Sinclair? Because from my point of view, I don't think that St Kilda like to really move the ball that fast, but they can be quite efficient. And so, it's going to be a really hard case for the big tools that West Coast are potentially going to have in their forward line to slow that run and efficiency out of their defensive 50. And we know that, as a Ross Lyons coach side is, it's going to be tightly held defensively. So, I like the call about it was a Windhager who went to Harley Reid last year and did that amazing job. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see that happen again. As Clint said, he did an amazing job last year in the second half, and Ross likes to go back to the well. So if it's been proven before, he'll go and try it again. But what does he have to kind of do to make sure that he doesn't get shut out of the game again? Does it go to him learning how to be more of a team player and go make 2-on-1 somewhere else and to develop that side of his game?
I always like for players, if they are getting attention, to have a go at taking on the player one-on-one, but be ready to adjust if it's not working. Windhager is very disciplined. You would have to say that he's a better long runner than Reid. Reid's got the power, yes, but Windhager's super fit. How about an opportunity for Reid at stoppage to go and make that 2-on-1 on Macrae? Go and play on Macrae, who is a dominant clearance player for St Kilda, and just put a little bit of doubt. You might be able to get a separation by playing on Macrae. Windhager then is put into a position, okay, what am I going to do at this stoppage? And then by that, might able to be release Harley into some space as well, just through a little bit of confusion on a handover as Windhager's coming back to Macrae. So that's one of the things that Harley could look at if it turns out that way. And the other part is, do West Coast actually sit someone on Macrae if it's not to be Harley, because he's that important a player for them, gives them so much drive out of stoppage. Okay, he's not the most penetrating player on the team, but he's the one who's getting it out a lot to the outside runners like Sinclair, like Wanganeen Millera, Wilson and others. So maybe they put some time into Jack Macrae and make someone else win clearance for St Kilda.
Who do they potentially put that weight on? I'm thinking if they're going to continue to try Hoff through the middle, it could be a really good chance for him to develop his knowledge of the game and playing that midfield role. And I see the physical attributes, they're probably suited to going up against a Macrae, and so that could be somewhere that he can develop his side of his game to get that more offensive kind of feather in his cap.
Yeah, it'd be a different look for him. He's probably played on more explosive mids so far. Spent some time on Cozzy a couple of weeks ago. And it's really interesting, and we are concentrating on that midfield mix because it is pivotal in this match today, but just what each team and which players and rotations they use through there. I saw Wangani Miller, he was working with the mids, so maybe, he has had splashes of time in centre bounce, and we know that it's been really effective for West Coast as well, having Tyler Brockman and Liam Ryan come up and just play centre bounce and then quick flip forward, change with the mid who's resting forward, whether it's Graham or whoever it might be. So really looking forward to see how that works, Mitch.
With no Hoff, though, in the back line, if he's playing in the middle, who takes Jack Higgins? 23 goals, 6 this year. Hoff,
is he second in the goal
right up
at the
there?
moment?
Yeah. If Hoff would normally take him, you'd imagine, as their most dangerous small, but he won't be down there necessarily.
Yeah, it is a really good question, and I think that potentially with his strength, agility and reliability, maybe it goes to Ruben Jinbi. I think that he could be someone who has enough concentration and an ability to really lock somebody down. He could be the one that I would potentially like to see go to Higgins.
Well, Jack Higgins is probably the AFL's preeminent anticipator of turnover, and some might say he does that a little bit earlier than he should, but gee, it's dangerous, and it ends up in so many walk-in goals pretty much. He's running into the goal square, kicking open goal. He anticipates early, and when there's a turnover on, good luck if you've already conceded goal side to Jack Higgins, he's going to score on you. So, yeah, Jimby, Duggan perhaps, does he have the agility? Not sure, but, yeah, Jimby might be the one for Jack Higgins.
You touched on it. The last few weeks we have seen an improvement from West Coast in the contest and their ability to stay in games for longer. I really hope that they're able to overcome what would have been a really tough last 24 hours. We're at 36 hours now since probably the news started filtering through to the club. So how are they going to be able to compartmentalise that? How do you say that? Compartmentalise it?
Yep, that's it. Perfect.
Compartmentalise it. How are they going to be able to go out there and do their work for the next 2.5 hours and continue to show the improvement that they have done over the last month? Because I think that if they do enough of that hard work in the contest, they're going to put themselves in a really good position.
A really key part of the game, and again, it's still around stoppage. We know that West Coast at times have been dominated by some rucks. I'll go back to Jared Witts early in the season. I mean, Max Gawn, he dominates most rucks, so it's hard to be critical for that one. But it is a big task for Matt Flynn today against a really physical ruckman in Marshall, who is a good runner as well. So the tandem, the duo of Flynn and Williams are going to have to really work together to nullify Marshall's influence, both in at the stoppage and his ability to get around the ground and sneak forward as well, because he's a scoring threat. So we're really keen to watch that matchup.
I think that's a big part of it, is Bailey Williams going with him around the ground and then Flynn doing the job at the stoppage.
Both teams making their way across for the pre-match ceremony. Here at Sir Doug Nichols round. Knowledge Marawa on the left, the Eagles, the Saints, Eurogue to the right. And there will also be an acknowledgement and a moment of silence for Adam Selwood up on the big screen too. Players are in position. We're ready to head downstairs.
The West Coast Eagles send our deepest sympathies to the Selwood family after the passing of their son, brother, father and husband, Adam Selwood. Adam was a much-loved premiership player, coach and staff member who loved the club, his teammates and the game. He leaves a lasting legacy at our football club, and his loss is being felt deeply throughout the West Coast Eagles and football community. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome Wajak Noongar Elder Professor Simon Forrest Barungu, Wajak Baladong Elder Vivian Hanson, along with didgeridoo performer Andrew Beck and vocalist Dylan Collard.
Kaya now more than ever. Kaya Wanju Nijo Wajak Noongar Buja. Hello and welcome to the land of the Wajak Noongar here on the Swan Coastal Plain and beyond Caramundo, or the Black Hills to the east. This is the home of the Wajak Noongar Boodja, the home of the Wajak Noongar people. Kai Wanju Walich Marawa Mort, hello and welcome to the West Coast Eagles family. First Nations people from around the world refer to Aboriginal Australians as the first of the first peoples, firstborn of all peoples, the oldest continuous civilisation on this planet. We are here today to celebrate First Nations culture and the First Nations players past and present who have contributed so much to this great game. Thank you, Budawan, and thank you.
Hi. Oh. Yeah, Nunaka. Nichinga Nunga Yoga Jurpan Galakdat in Nichingalaka Wajak Puja. Pujangala Mort Kura. Yay, Kai Kor. Galaka Weir. Galaka Court. Galaka Court that in nature. Galam Nank. Our mother. Good afternoon, everybody. My heart is happy that we meet here today on Wajak country, home of our people past, present and future, a home we all share together as all Australians, walking forward hand in hand in the journey of reconciliation. Acknowledgement to the West Coast Eagles and the AFL for walking on this journey with us. We've come a long way. We still have a long way to go forward. And for all of those that have come from outside Noongar country, we welcome you here. And we ask the spirits to keep you safe on your way home. Thank you.
Thank you and enjoy the game.
West Coast Eagles, Woolwich Marrawah today. Still chasing their first victory in season 2025. They break and head to the left of our broadcast position. Both teams in their Indigenous jumpers for today's game. I do want to make mention too, particularly was Nasiah Wanganeen Millera, who has designed the St Kilda jumper. And be able to get to see that in the Saints when they play back home in their next game. It is a magnificent affair. The Eagles with the blue shoulders predominantly gold and the big eagle on the front of their jumper. So a slightly different look for the Eagles today in Woolwich Marrawah. A couple of milestones to make mention of as well. 50 games for Ruben Jinby today, taken at pick 9 in the 22 national draft. And also, well done to Nathan Doig. We often criticise we don't give the umpires enough shine here, but Nathan Doig on the boundary today becomes just the 5th AFL boundary umpire to reach 400 games. His career goes back to 2005 in round 5, the West Aussie. He's umpired in 5 AFL grand finals, 11, 13, 14, 15 and 18 as well, running the boundary today for his 400th appearance in the green. Today, in the light blue, the umpire's looking a little bit different. We're about to have the toss of the coin downstairs. Let's find out which way our experts are going. I've got a sneaky suspicion that West Coast, considering their form line, they're a chance of winning this one today, gents. I'm going to throw my neck on the line and think the Eagles might be able to get over and pick up the 4 points and break through for their first win of the year. Which way are you going?
I have said the exact same thing in my birds thread, so I've tipped the Eagles.
Oh, it's so. I'm going to go St Kilda, but it's a very narrow select. I could have easily have predicted the Eagles today, but given that you guys have covered off on that one, I'll say St Kilda in a very tight one.
I think it's going to be tight. St Kilda games tend to be. Mitch Turner.
Out for the toss in the middle from Yoroke. Brad Hill and Lance Collard, both of Western Australia, of course. For the Eagles, Tim Kelly, Liam Ryan and Tyler Brockman. Visiting side has won the toss. They'll kick to the city end of the ground, which is the right of our broadcast position. The Eagles will kick to the left, the Graham Farmer Freeway end.
Looks a treat from where we are. Cool conditions, bright blue skies. What's it like downstairs? Akash Fodadar's with us. Akash.
Good afternoon, Clint. Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, beautiful conditions for football down here. Not a breath of wind, bright sunshine, fairly sombre atmosphere as can be expected after the week it has been. Looking across to the benches for Woolwich Marawa, Tyler Brockman, Bailey Williams, Tom Cole and Elijah Hewitt, with Tom Cross as the sub. And for Yoroke, Lance Collard, Mateus Philippou, Hugo Garcia, Liam O'Connell will start on the bench, and Toby Travaglia is the substitute.
Good on you. North Melbourne winning their second game of the season to go alongside their draw. They've beaten Richmond earlier by 4 points. There's a game still underway at half-time up at the Gabba. We'll keep you updated in this. The Lions lead Narm. So the Lions over the Demons 8-7-55 to the Demons 6-6-42. Can the Eagles get their first win of the year? Will the Saints prevail? Let's find out. Mitch Turner for you on ABC Sport.
Underway here at Perth Stadium. Marshall and Flynn go at it. Ball comes out. McRae's in there for Yoroke. Comes out back towards Marshall on hands and knees. Ryan for the Eagles pulls him off it. Now players crash in. The umpire will once again come in to ball it up. Beautiful day here at Perth Stadium. This ball's tossed back in the air. Flynn tapped it down through the hands of McRae from St Kilda. In there on hands and knees for West Coast was Graham. It comes out, though, the way of Yoroke. Marshall, high kick inside the 50. Jimby couldn't take it for the Eagles. Comes out the back to Brock. Nice handball. Now to Duggan. Woolwich Marawa. The skipper will be able to take a couple of bounces. Kick up to the wing. He's looking for his co-captain and Allen. It's over the head of he and Caminiti. And the first one to get back there, Jack Sinclair, who somehow just kept it in. His left foot kick back up the wing, knocked away from Duggan by Hill. Windhager comes in for Saints, and eventually Wanganeen Miller is taken over at the interchange gate to be a boundary throw in right below our broadcast position. Neither side yet to score. Just a minute played here. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
As Mitch called, Oscar Allen starting forward.
Not sure too many of us believed it when we saw him named at fullback. Throwing. Marshall for the Saints almost got clean hands to it. Came out to Graham and then hacked forward for the Eagles. Hunt got boot to ball and it tumbles over the boundary line at left half forward for a throw-in. 18th plays 13th today. The Eagles played 9, lost 9. The Saints won 4 of the 9 that they've played so far. They lost last week, St Kilda. Thrown in, one down by Flynn of the Eagles. It came then to Wanganeen Miller, kicked around the body, but Baker is out for Woolwich Marawa. Sliding forward, takes the mark just in front of the commentary wing. With the right boot, he'll put it deep inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Oh, great Mark Waterman. He stood in front of a pack, had the arms up high, marked the ball at the highest point he could. He'll go back and have a shot. It's just better than a 45-degree angle to the left. He'll put boots of ball from about 38 out.
It's a strange one. Ended up almost being uncontested. There was a lot of tall timber down there, but he just judged where the ball was going to land and got the dukes up and clunked it.
Very much a confidence player too, Jake Waterman. So getting a nice early mark, we're doing a world of good.
9. In he comes, 12-8 for the season. Waterman liked it off the boot. He kicks the first. The Eagles in front in the opening 3 minutes. Woolwich Marawa 1 straight 6. Yoroke yet to score. Good you can be with us wherever you're listening right around the nation. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport, ABC Radio, Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app. Our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
A bit of a funny start, isn't it? There hasn't been really too much clean possession. It's been a bit scrappy, a lot of quick kind of kick and, knocking the ball on from stoppage. Neither side has really been able to settle, but it was a great mark, as you called, Belly. He just picked the drop zone and launched at it. And I'm not sure who it was from the St Kilda from a defensive point of view.
It's Burns, I think.
Yeah, weirdly, that can't be the matchup. So Caminiti must have got blocked and handed over, or
it looked like Wilkie was coming in. Yeah, just a great mark from Waterman.
The Eagles strike first. Ball back in the middle. Flynn over the top of Marshall. Came down there to McRae of the Saints. Now to Wanganeen Miller. Trying to give it back to his ruckman. Lost it. Players crashing back in the middle. Ryan goes in for Wallich Marawa and wins the free kick. Wants to move it quickly. Steps around Brad Hill as he plays on. Now kicks it inside the forward 50. Caminiti in front of Allen. Couldn't take the mark. Gets it back though. The Saints defender. Now kicks to the broadcast wing in front. Couple grabs. Owens couldn't take it. Uroka. Ryan on hands and knees tries to tap it out to Hunt. Just misses him. It goes out of bounds along the ground. The ball will once again be tossed back in below our commentary position. Broadcast wing. 4 minutes played. The Eagles lead by 6. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Get Ginger, Liam Ryan coming up from that contest.
Ball back into play. It's out the way. Windhager trying to get a hand pass away for the Saints. Came to Marshall and then Burns gets a bouncing kick towards right half forward. Those guys have got the numbers back there. Nicely worked by Edwards. And then he'll kick the Eagles long towards left half forward. Bringing it down, Oscar Allen at the back. Spildo there for Marshall. Wobbles a kick back towards centre wing. No mark taken. Comes out the back again for the Eagles. Brock got a hand pass. Came to Duggan. He get legged, I thought. Yes. Giving it away, McRae. Duggan will have it at left half back. A cash Fododara is downstairs.
As Belly mentioned, Liam Ryan's hobbled straight to the bench and they're looking at his lower left leg just above the ankle.
Duggan plays on, takes a quick little bounce, now kicks up towards half forward, front position, unable to take the mark. St Kilda came down the way of Cripps, high kick inside forward 50. Hutchinson for Wallich Marawa came late, taps it away. And Webster, the defender, out of bounds for a boundary throw in right forward pocket. Graham Farmer freeway end. It was Wilson underneath it, in fact, for Uroke.
A lot of time for Jack Hutchinson, going to be a really important player for West Coast for a long time, I reckon.
Williams in the ruck for the Eagles, taps it down to the front. McRae comes through. The Saints got it to Webster. High kick up the wing, big fly in front, and able to take the mark was Sharman. Flynn does so for Wallich Marawa and quickly handballs off to Jimby, who just loads up a high ball inside the forward 50 and no one home in the end. But McLennan for the Saints, who takes the mark.
McLennan comes out towards right half back and bounces to Higgins. He elects to sweep a hand pass forward. Here's Wanganeen Miller taking a bounce and then moving it towards centre wing. His kick is towards right half forward. It's chopped off though by Brock. Marks defensively for the Eagles. Goes across half back. Hoff had to dive down low. Bounces up off the turf with the mark and switches play out towards right half back. Hutchison hands it off. Now to Baker. Kicks Wallich Marawa towards right half forward to Owings. Too far out to score himself. Probably 2 kicks from goal and then not a great kick towards right half forward. Ball's there to be won. Picked up off the deck. Eventually getting a kick away. Hall for the Saints. Again, an ugly looking kick. Going back is Graham and he breaks the tackle of Hill. Kicks inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Front position Flynn. Takes the mark for Wallich Marawa. 45-degree angle to the right this time. He's in the bright sunshine at Perth Stadium. He'll put boots of ball from 45 out.
They've been really organised, Wallich Marawa, in defence, and Kilda haven't really been able to penetrate much into their own forward 50, and repeat entries, the big fella Flynn getting forward and taking a nice mark. This would be big for his confidence. Big duel against Rowan Marshall. To get one on the board early would be wonderful for the Wallich Marawa ruckman.
27-year-old, the former Giant, kicks on its way, looks all right. The crowd rises. And the Eagles come from everywhere to celebrate with Matt Flynn, his second of the season. What is just his third in Eagles colours. Great start for the Eagles. Wallich Marawa 2 straight 12. Uroke, the Saints yet to score. 7:47 gone in this opening term. Akash Fododara is downstairs on the boundary.
Liam Ryan looks to be okay. He's had that left ankle checked out, done some run-throughs, bit of a grimace on his face, but he seems to be moving okay. Meanwhile, for Uroke, Jack Higgins has just ducked down to the change rooms. Not sure what the issue is, but we'll keep an eye on it for you.
You're exactly right, though, Belly. The impact that Flynn's had already, the defensive turnover mark as well, by planting himself in a really good position down the line. And Brock, I think a couple of intercept positions already, doing a really good job in that backline setup.
Straight back into the centre circle for the goal kicker Flynn, and on this occasion he takes it out of the ruck but fumbles it Allows Marshall to grab it. Handball to McRae, who coughs it up straight to Kelly. Beautiful little sidestep out of traffic. Kicks towards Bailey Williams in the pocket. Tries to throw off a Saints defender. Does so successfully. Throws off Webster. Handball back to Waterman, who's caught in a tackle. Had a lot of time. Managed to get the handball away to Cripps, who's copped a horse collar tackle right across the back of the jersey. The umpire said it was just a little high from Windhager. And Jamie Cripps will take the free kick. Just outside the 50, left half forward. Kicks the ball to the top of the goal square. Allen's in there for the Eagles. So too is Marshall for Uroke. And he takes the mark at the top of the defensive goal square. They still trail by 12 the Saints. Early stages this first term. Clint Wilden.
Marshall, a bit of a trundle, then kick short. Was able to find Burns in the shadows of the right back pocket for the Saints. Bright fluoro yellow boots on. And elects to go back towards fullback. Chance to set up again here through Wilkie. Eventually the Saints go beyond defensive 50. It's a perfect kick to Burns out of side of the ground. Hand pass into the middle. It came to Hill. He thumps it long towards full forward. Great Mark Wood. Goes to ground as he completes the grab, but he's right in front of goal and should go back and kick St Kilda's, the Saints first, from no more than 25 out.
Well, they conceded the corridor, Wallage, and Uroke were playing high and then just streaming forward. And once that kick is conceded in the centre, too many options, too hard to defend.
And the Uroke players were all goal side, which makes it very hard for the Wallage Murrowa team.
So Mason Wood, 10-6 for the season. He's right in front. Kicks with the left and puts it through for the Saints first. The Eagles 2 straight 12. The Saints 1 straight 6. 11 gone in the opening term. Repeating earlier today, North Melbourne. They got their second win of the year, beating the Richmond Tigers by 4 points. It's still half-time, the latest score we had from the Gabba, with the Lions in front of Nam there. 8-7-55 to the Demons 6-6-42. Before we hear from our experts, a cash voted up.
Yeah, update from the Saints. Jack Higgins is all good. He's back on the bench now. And for Wallach Murrowa, Liam Ryan, after having to go back and get a fresh chewy, is also back on the ground.
You can't go out there without that.
Well, Sharad, you identified it. Wallach are tall in defence, are they? Edwards, Brock, Jimby, Marek. Whereas Uroke, it's probably just Sharman as the tall forward down there. The rest are smaller players.
Hit 4 straight and 3-4 in their 2 meetings last year. Did Mason Wood. He's got one early. Ball back underway. Marshall following up the contest from the ruck work. On it to Windhager. Now the Saints come out with Wilson to the wing. Bouncing ball out into space. Filippo, the first one to gather it. Shakes the tackle of Harley Reid and kicks up towards Hill, and he held Liam Baker in the marking contest. So the former Tiger will take the free kick, come wide to Tyler Brockman. He's got the bright blue boots on. They got the blue shorts and the Sir Doug Nichols round Guernsey, which is predominantly yellow with a bit of blue on it. Brockman handballs across to Duggan. Kick inside the forward 50. Allen rose up, couldn't take the mark. Webster at ground level for the Saints. It's a high looping ball outside the 50. Marek taps it down to Brockman. Comes inside to Hoff. Handball wide to Cripps. Little sidestep. Now the snap on goal against his former club. Jamie Cripps hits the scoreboard. The Eagles have their third. And all week there was talk about him breaking the Eagles' goal assist record, but he did that one himself. Jamie Cripps, a lovely finish. 3 straight 18, Wallach Murrowa. Uroke, 1 straight 6. 12.5 played in the first term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wilden. A cash voted are our experts, Sharon Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Well, Belly, I don't think I've ever seen an Eagles forward line so congested. I don't know if it's because St Kilda are getting a lot of numbers back there, or it's just because the forwards are holding in the forward 50. But every time the Eagles manage to get an inside 50, it's either a contest at the moment, or there's been a couple of times where Saints have taken the mark. But what we've seen is when they get their hands on the ball, dumping it back outside 50 and then going back in, it's a lot of in-out-in plays for Wallach Murrowa at the moment.
Bounce through his start. Rux missed it. Collins eventually tried to just sock it forward. He missed it again. Hoff's hand pass stolen away. The Saints with an opportunity from Wanganeen Miller to Hill. Kick towards full forward. No mark taken. Big pack there. Edwards put his head over the football. Got taken high.
Had a couple of good moments, Harry Edwards. I've liked his composure and driving his legs at contest and buffering a bit of pressure.
I like the black boots as a defender. Pure black boots for Harry Edwards. Love seeing that. Kicks into the left back pocket. Duggan. So we go from white boots to fluoro yellow boots with Marek marking. Something about defenders wearing the black boots, Billy. I know it's silly, but
the black boots are what the extroverts wear now.
That's exactly right.
He's from the McGovern school, though.
Went to Duggan, who almost got himself in trouble. Was able to retrieve the football and went back to Marek again. They're still in the left back pocket here. Moich Marawa stabs the ball short to the milestone man, the 50-gamer in Jinbi, hands it off again to Marek. That's an awkward bounce that should favour the Saints on centre wing. They made a bit of a mess of it anyway. Brockman follows it back up, gets it for the Eagles. Gives it on to Hunt. His handbar straight away to Caminiti for the Saints. To Owens, and then moving on to Windhager. The kick is into the right forward pocket. The mark is taken. That's well done. Mason Wood has it. Will have a shot at goal from right on 50 out, and he sends it through. He's got his second, so too to the Saints. 45-degree angle. He elected to play on, and he kicked truly for Uroke. It's the Eagles 3 straight 18, the Saints 2 straight 12, 15 gone in the opening term. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport. Our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
It's not what I was talking about when I said that St Kilda were really efficient, but they've gone inside their forward 54 times and have scored twice. And once again, Wood just managed to slip goal side of Jinbi, which makes it really hard to locate when the ball's coming in.
Yeah, it was interesting position from Jinbi. He was assertive, he was in front of Wood, but the poor kick from Marek meant that it was really difficult for him to defend it. So maybe, back shoulder in that circumstance as you locate your player might have been the better option.
He polled 3 votes against them in the Brownlow in their first meeting last year. In round 12, Mason Wood, 2 goals already. He is looking the goods. Ball back in the middle. Reid flying through for Walich Marawa. Able to gather, get it to Flynn. Now off to Hoff. Forward handball through the centre square. Hoff loads up, kicks inside the forward 50, standing all by himself. In the end, able to take the mark is the heroic defender in McLennan, who goes wide to the pocket and finds Caminiti.
There's a big impact then from Harley Reid, who won the clearance.
Here's Caminiti. Putting the Saints long towards left half back. Jinbi in the contest, brought it to ground. Collard tried to tap it back. He'll get it a second time. Hand pass to Burns, put his head over it. Might have been taken high by Hunt. Umpire says play on. It's been locked in. Oh no, they have finally played it high. Very late call.
Potentially non-officiating.
It was the correct call, but took a while to get there, and that's very short to be paid a mark. It comes to Webster now. Not sure that was 15. Webster for the Saints. A short trundle, and then kick towards the outer side. There's another free kick paid. It's going St Kilda's way.
That's against Harley Reid, and look...
That was nothing.
It's almost like he caressed him more than anything else.
His hands on his chest.
Free kick taking in the middle of the ground. Kelly intercepted it, goes back by hand, but turns it over. Wanganeen Miller shares it around and then comes out towards Wilkie, who marks defensive edge of the logo. Commentary wing. On now to Hill for the Saints. Kicks towards right half forward. Strong again. Had the height advantage that time, Marshall, and used it against Cole into the right forward pocket. And then that's gone too far. No, it's just been touched as it's gone across the boundary line for a throw-in.
Going to be an interesting day for Sandy Brock. I've seen him opposed to Higgins. I've seen him opposed to Lance Collard at various moments so far.
So the downfield field kick against Reid, who did just touch Webster after he got the kick away. There's a blood rule here, Mitch Turner.
Also Ryan Burns coming off with the blood rule. He's the first player off to the bench, so I imagine that's who was playing. I couldn't spot.
Behind his right ear.
There you go. Well spotted by Clint Wheeldon. Ball spun back inside the Saints forward line. Tap down straight to Hoff. Tumbling kick outside defensive 50. Almost taken by Ryan. It spills to Brockman. Shook a tackle strongly. Off to Kelly. His handball knocked down. Cole coughs it up. The Saints have it back. Wanganeen Miller's kick was smothered. Sinclair goes off the ground. It bumbles past Wood. Now Duggan has it. Took on a tackler. The second one got him. That'll be holding the ball. No.
He's very lucky, Duggan.
Very lucky.
He took on Higgins. Was caught by Filippo. Should have been pinned holding the ball. Instead, it'll be tossed up. 45 out from the Saints goal. Marshall tapped it straight to the Eagles and Hutchinson, whose left foot kick It's a bouncing ball out to the broadcast side in front of the interchange gates. Williams v Caminiti, and they both see the ball out of bounds. Got away with one then, did the Eagles. They still lead though, 3 straight 18. The Saints 2 straight 12, 18 and a half gone.
I've liked Tyler Brockman's start to this game. He's been really clean. He's had a bit of bite around contest for Woolwich.
Front position, one down by Marshall of the Saints to Steele. Now to Sinclair. Kicks high and long, inside forward 50. Owens has done well. That time got away from Edwards and he takes the marks for the Saints. 45-degree angle to the right-hand side. He'll be putting boots of ball from just inside 50. Mitch Owens.
It was a great pattern from the St Kilda midfielders. Just opened up the corridor and Sinclair reading it very quickly, putting himself in an offensive position to handball receive, and just another out-the-back kick.
He's been accurate this year, 14-4 for the season. In he comes Owens to level the scores for the Saints. It's out to the left. It's going to miss the locks. So that doesn't change that record. Still 14-4 for the season. Out of bounds on the full. No change to the score either. The Eagles lead by 6 as we're approaching time on in this opening term.
Not quite commentators' curse, more like commentators' affirmation, because he remains 14-4. Kick out to the wing. Big mark taken by a man who's causing issues early for the Eagles. Marshall. It's a disposal number 8 already for the ruck as he plays on. Kicks inside the forward 50, looking for a target in the pocket. Wood, he went up, got hands to it, and dropped a mark he should have taken in the left forward pocket. Rolls out of bounds.
You can't believe that he's dropped it, Mason Wood. He's off to a flyer with 2 goals in this first quarter, and you're right, Marshall's been a factor, particularly aerially.
I think he was shocked the ball got through to his hands so cleanly, Wood, and he dropped it in the shock. Marshall in the ruck, taps it back towards the boundary line. Hewitt just throws it back in, and the umpire does spot it. Thought he'd get away with a parry in the end, but in the attempt to double palm it back into play,
not sure why he'd be trying to do that in the defensive 50 either.
Hewitt just threw the ball, and the free kick will go to Hugo Garcia. I believe it is in the pocket on the far side.
Yeah, it's a bit of a brain fade from the young player.
Hugo Garcia tucks up against the boundary, kicks towards the top of the goal square. Big pack flies. Owens couldn't bring it down. Higgins' left foot snap out of congestion is high and left. Sneaks in for a minor score, the first blemish of the afternoon. 2-1-13, Euro. Woolwich Marawa, a 3 straight 18. 21 played here in the first term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
The pre-game I was watching Higgins actually practice soccering the ball. That's a very dangerous pass from the kick in. Marek went short, found Edwards, plays it by hand out towards Marek, and then stabs it to Graham, who marks it right half back. That's the play on by hand to Marek. He continued his run from right half back. He'll kick down towards the southern wing, and a spoil getting in front of Cripps, the Saints. They're happy to see it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
I think Ryan Marek's been inspired by Bailey Dale by looking at that sequence there.
Casual 49 yesterday.
Amazing game.
Thrown in again. Flynn won it down straight to Reid. Got taken high by Marshall. Free kick to the Eagle. Some Bronx cheers around for a free kick going the way of Harley Reid. Takes a couple of steps forward, Reid, for the Eagles. Kick Woolwich Marawa into the right forward pocket. Swirl came from the back from the Eagles. Pressure continued. Hewitt was able to get it out, and a dangerous kick into the right back pocket, and it's gone over the boundary line. Ineffective kick from Sinclair thanks to the Hewitt pressure.
That was great forward pressure, wasn't it?
Wasn't it? That had the hallmarks of someone who owed the team one after that free kick conceded in D50.
So we've got ourselves a throw in left forward pocket for the Eagles.
Marshall, front position against Bailey Williams. Ball comes out the back of the stoppage, coming through McLennan for the Saints. Tucked his head under, was taken to ground. Didn't have a lot of pry-up as he was wrapped up by Cripps. We'll toss it up again. 40 metres out. Left forward pocket for Woolwich Marawa. Bailey Williams got to the front, tapped it to Brockman through traffic, who got it to Reid, and to Owies by hand. Now Hewitt, snap into the middle of the 50. Ryan rose up, couldn't take the mark. Hunt comes through, taps it to himself, sockers it through, and they've got 4. Nice bit of forward craft by the wingman in the end in Jaden Hunt, who makes the most of an opportunistic moment. Kicks the goal, and Woolwich Marawa a 4 straight 24. Euroka 2-1-13, 23 minutes into the first quarter. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wilden to catch. Fodadar is on the boundary and in the box. Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
It was a little bit all or nothing. I know it was the forward 50, but the stoppage structure, all of the Wallich Marawa players lined up on one side in the stoppage before and got completely exposed. And luckily there was a fumble from Uro, which meant it was going to be a secondary stoppage. But yeah, the movement and I suppose aggressive patterns that the Wallich team were running there, you can definitely get exposed, and that's when they can see the ball going all the way down the other end. But fortunately got the goal that time.
Skewiff bounce. They're allowed to play on. Flynn got it and kicked it straight into Marshall. Bounce back for the Eagles to Graham. Clearing kick towards left half forward. That was clever from Cripps. Tapped it into the path of Hutchinson. Sends it towards goal. He'll miss the lot. It's just bounced inside the field of play. Throwing right full forward, but so clever from Jamie Cripps. Knew he couldn't take possession. Just tapped it there for Jack Hutchinson running by to receive. Part of the ground still in bright sunshine. Right forward pocket for the Eagles. Back into play. Only Jay Williams tapped it down. Went straight though to McRae. Got it on in turn to O'Connell. Kick beyond defensive 50 for the Saints. It's moved back inside forward 50 for West Coast immediately. Tapped down by Marshall. Went to Ryan. Was he taken high? No. Was tackled and taken to ground though. Ball up.
It was one of those ones he got really low in the spin that he was trying to execute, and the hand probably did get low. Sorry, got him high, but he was getting too low, and I think that's the one that they're too scared to call.
It's pretty well executed in the end from the restart. Ryan tries to run onto it in the pockets, and Kilda have the numbers. Wilkie, Swangane Miller flirting with the behind line and eventually takes it through. He was under pressure. Harley Reid was bearing down on him. And he rushes the behind. So 4-1-25 Wallich Marawa. Euroke 2-1-13. 25 gone in the first.
Wanganeen Miller goes to steal. Hits the Saints to the southern wing. Edwards punches it down. Picked up by Hoff for the Eagles. Now to Hunt. Moves it back to Edwards. They forced a backtrack again to Cole on the logo southern wing. And he'll stab it short to Hoff. They've done that pretty well, West Coast.
I've liked their composure so far. Haven't panicked. Hadn't settled for a hack kick forward.
Marking it right half forward. The kick's inside forward 50. It travels the pack and then bounced its way past. Danger for a moment from McLennan. Real pressure being applied from West Coast at the top of their attacking goal square. It's been locked in. Over it was Kelly. Marshall held it to him. Going to have ourselves a ball up.
16-8 inside 50 count. McQualter would be thrilled.
Throwing up. Marshall got two hands to it. Threw it on the boot. Clever little kick. Worked out okay. That's Filippo. Sends it back into the middle of the ground, and Cole has done well. Outpointed Higgins. Had two grabs at it, but takes the mark. West Coast by 12 points. 26 gone in the first.
Almost everyone inside Wallich Marawa's forward line. Cole kicks it at the top of the goal square. Off hands. Coming through Hunt. Roped it beautifully. Snapped it and missed. Almost a second crumbing goal for Jaden Hunt, but it's away to the right. 4-2-26 Wallich Marawa. 2-1-13 Euroke. 27 played in the first term.
13 points. Biggest lead of the game so far. Here's Wanganeen Miller. As we mentioned earlier, designed the Indigenous jumpers worn by St Kilda in these Sir Doug Nicholls rounds of 2025. Gives it to Sinclair. Kick towards the commentary wing. Pack up. Edwards got a fist to it for the Eagles. Comes down to the side to Wilson. Hand passes forward. Filippo was chasing out after it, but the ball took a right-hand turn from the bounce and went across the boundary line for a throw-in between centre wing and right half forward for Euroke. The Saints trail on the scoreboard 2-1-13 to the Eagles 4-2-26. 27 gone in the first.
It was below our commentary position here last year where Harley Reid tackled Darcy Wilson and ruled himself out of the Rising Star running from the restart. Tackle was Filippo. Free kick going to Graham. It's right below us. He took Darcy Wilson across the boundary line and he was then ineligible to win the Rising Star award as he was suspended by the MRO. Graham goes back to left half, back to Edwards. Now Waterman, who is a long way behind the ball.
Potentially just put himself back there for the last few minutes of the quarter, as we've seen him do occasionally.
So Waterman takes a bit of a run, kicks up the wing. Big pack forms over the back. Bailey Williams couldn't mark. Ryan lost it at the front. Caminiti somehow got a handball out.
Yeah,
Winmaker runs it out.
Waterman's now the deepest West Coast defender. Well, extra.
and indicating that he wants the team to play a long, narrow game with plenty of density and just preserve that lead into quarter time.
Interesting, it's not Oscar Allen, given he has been playing back. It's Jake Waterman, who's done it plenty in his career as well. Ball tapped down, Phillippo kicks it up the wing, coming through, unable to take it, was Baker. In the end, Phillippo could handball it forward to Wood. Now handball off to Windhager, kick into the pocket. The Eagles have the 2-on-1 because Waterman is there. Higgins grabbed it, handballed it as he was taken out of bounds. He wanted a dangerous tackle or a sling after the play from Waterman. It wasn't there. It'll be tossed back in right forward pocket for Uroka. They trail the Eagles by 13 points, 29 minutes gone in the first term.
Difficult one now with the forward 50 stoppage where he puts himself. Waterman.
Oh, beautifully won down by Marshall. Roving through and snapping on the right was Hall. Wasn't far away. Just missing. Minor score 4-2-26 to 2-2-14. 29 gone in this opening term. Closing in on quarter time. Beautifully done from Marshall.
Yeah, he's a big factor. 9 disposals, 7 contested possessions, 3 marks, and a beautiful ruck tap, forward 50 to boot.
There are some good rucks going around the AFL at the moment. Duggan with the kick-in duties, kicks long to the wing. At the back, Flynn couldn't mark. Kamanides in there for the Saints. Hewitt dives in for Wallich Marawa. Ball just bobbling around. Eventually, Flynn handballed it to Cripps, who lost it. Kamanides was clean. Looks to McRae, little underground handball, missed the target. Now Allen has it for the Eagles. Off to Hewitt, shakes one tackle, caught by the second. Was spinning in trouble. Steele got him. And there'll be a Saints free kick right on centre wing.
Up at the Gabba, by the way, the Lions by 13 points over the Demons. 10-8 plays 8-7. 20 minutes gone in the third. The Saints have moved it to right half forward from winning the free kick, and Marshall's taken the mark, hard up against the boundary. He'll pop it short.
Flynn's hurt his shoulder, a bit of a stinger as well, and he does look gassed. Ryan Marshall's been running everywhere in this first quarter.
All came out to mark for the Saints. 75 from goal. He'll put it towards the hot spot. They come from everywhere. Big fly. Sharman couldn't quite get to it. Ball hits the deck. Players pile on top. Ball up right in front of the Saints attacking goal square.
You can't let Sharman jump like that unimpeded. He will make you pay.
Flynn and Marshall again. Both rucks had a go at it. Marshall got a hand out the side to Higgins, who lost it. Trying to come through Baker. He's taken to ground, wrapped up by Phillippo.
In the back.
Umpire says free kick. Baker will be very happy to get up and soak up some more time as we close in on quarter time. 4-2-26 the Eagles, 2-2-14 the Saints. 31 gone in the first.
Ball kicked out to the wing in front. Oscar Allen can't mark. Comes down the way of the Saints, the visitors, and McLennan was taken out of bounds. Right next to the couple of the coaching staff from Uroka who have made their way down as the seconds tick down. Ball will be tossed back in. Final stage of this first term. Flynn knocks it out into the path of Jack Steele, who got some pretty strong feedback to his teammates as the siren went. But a good corner for the home side. Wallich Marawa, the Eagles. They are 4-2-26. Uroka. They are 2-2-14. It's a 12-point margin. Another quarter one for the Eagles, Wallich Marawa.
Their sixth quarter they've won this season, so still the lowest in total quarters in the AFL, but a third opening term for the Eagles and a sixth across the year. Their goal kickers, all individuals, Waterman, Hunt, Cripps and Flynn, while for Uroka, Mason Wood has both the goals for the Saints. 4-2-26 to 2-2-14, the Eagles over the Saints. Repeating earlier today, North Melbourne by 4 against the Tigers, 12-6-78 to 11-8-74. And up at the Gabba, 20 minutes gone or thereabouts in the third term. And the Lions lead the Demons by 14, 10-9-69 to 8-7-55. Wherever you're listening, on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital and streaming on the ABC Listen app. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
As each day begins,
get the facts you need to stay informed.
Every day, across your day.
Stay with Australia's trusted news source.
All the latest, all verified. Stay in the know with ABC News.
On ABC TV and ABC iView.
This is the Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
Wanganeen Miller kicked around the body, but Baker is out for Woolwich Marooa. Sliding forward, takes the mark just in front of the commentary wing. With the right boot, he'll put it deep inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Oh, great Mark Waterman. He stood in front of a pack, had the arms up high, marked the ball at the highest point he could. He'll go back and have a shot. It's just better than a 45-degree angle to the left. He'll put boots a ball from about 38 out. In he comes, 12-8 for the season. Waterman liked it off the boot. He kicks the first. The Eagles in front in the opening 3 minutes. Eventually getting a kick-away haul for the Saints. In an ugly-looking kick. Going back is Graham, and he breaks the tackle of Hill. Kicks inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Front position, Flynn takes the mark for Woolwich Marooa. 45-degree angle to the right this time. He's in the bright sunshine at Perth Stadium. He'll put boots a ball from 45 out. Kicks on its way. Looks all right. The crowd rises. And the Eagles come from everywhere to celebrate with Matt Flynn. And passing to the middle, it came to Hill. He thumps it long towards full forward. Great Mark Wood. Goes to ground as he completes the grab, but he's right in front of goal. So Mason Wood, 10-6 for the season. He's right in front. Kicks with the left and puts it through for the Saints first.
Outside the 50, Marrick taps it down to Brockman. Comes inside to Hoff. Handball wide to Cripps. Little sidestep. Now the snap on goal against his former club. Jamie Cripps hits the scoreboard. Bailey Williams got to the front, tapped it to Brockman through traffic, who got it to Reed, and to Owies by hand. Now Hewitt, snap into the middle of the 50. Ryan rose up, couldn't take the mark. Hunt comes through, taps it to himself, sockers it through, and they've got 4. Nice bit of forward craft by the wingman in the end in Jaden Hunt.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio,
ABC Sport Digital.
and on the ABC Listen app.
It's the Eagles by 12 points here at Perth Stadium at quarter time. Before we hear from our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Willingham, Akash Fotodars got something for us downstairs. Akash.
Yeah, Peter Bell mentioned late in that quarter, Matt Flynn with a bit of a stinger to that right shoulder. He spent the whole quarter-time break getting that right shoulder taped up, so it'll be interesting to see how he is able to deal with that throughout the rest of the day. And while he was having it taped up, he also spent a long time talking to ruck coach Ryan Turnbull, I imagine, about how to curtail Rowan Marshall.
Billy, Shaz, your thoughts?
Well, they can help him out by not kicking it to where Rowan Marshall is on the ground at the moment, because it seems like every time they're exiting their defensive 50 or every time they're going inside their forward 50, they're managing to find him. And so it should be an instruction to maybe make sure that they look where he is before kicking the ball, because 4 marks, I'd guess that they're probably all intercept marks. But, he's having a significant impact on the game so far.
And by the ranking points that we're given here, he's almost double the next player in the game, Rowan Marshall. So he's had a huge impact, both with his ruck work, his work rate, but also the marking around the ground, Sharad. But as far as Woolwich Marooa were concerned, Andrew McQualter would be really, really pleased. He wanted a good effort, I'm sure, at clearance to give them territory. They've done that, 17-10. And then they've been organised in defence. St Kilda are a good ball movement team out of D50, but there are a lot of in-out-in plays, which you called, and just 1 or 2 times they managed to sieve them. Euro can get through the defence, but really pleased with how organised that looked from a Woolwich Marooa perspective.
Yeah, I think that they would definitely come away from that quarter pretty happy with the way things panned out, other than the Marshall impact. I think that they've been able to not be dominant at clearance, but they've been able to be pretty 50-50, the two teams. I think that they both be going, okay, so we're probably breaking even at clearance at the moment, but time in forward half from up here, I don't have a number on it, but from mine it felt like it was definitely West Coast forward half game that quarter. And so how they set up defensively is what's really impressive. And you made the call on Williams, was it, during the quarter, who started really well, shown some great composure. Marrick's obviously had the ball in his hands a lot and has provided that run and carry. And Brock, who I think has been in a number of contests and just been really clean for someone who's played less than 10 games of AFL football.
Yeah, they're going to have to communicate so well, particularly those tall West Coast defenders who are minding smaller opponents. We know that Euro bring their forwards up and then get goal side really aggressively. So good communication, making sure none of those small forwards are getting an easy goal side seat.
Euro lead the contested possessions 42-34. The inside 50s, that's Woolwich Marooa's way, 17-10. The clearances 13-11. Euro's way. Rowan Marshall 11 touches, the most on the ground. Wanganeen Miller at 9. Sinclair 7 for the Eagles. Hoff with 7. And a host of players with 6.
Ball in the centre. Start of the second term imminent here on ABC Sport. Clint Wilder, Mitch Turner, Peter Bell, Sharon Wellingham with you. We're underway. Flynn stretches out against Marshall. Couldn't quite get a telling tap onto it. The ball hits the deck. Flynn's laying on top of it. He's been tackled there by McRae. Ball up. Still in the centre circles. By hurls it aloft. Flynn at the back. Got it down straight to McRae. Look away hand pass over his head though. Went to Marrick. Has to go back and a great tackle. Pausing for a moment. He got absolutely mopped up there, Sandy Brock. Terrific tackle coming the other way. Cooper Sharman got him. And he receives the free kick and he stabs it inside forward 50 and finds Owens on the lead. Heading out, marking about 45 from goal. 45-degree angle to the right. He was heading into the bright sunshine, but still no problems getting the footy.
Spoke a little bit too soon on Brock's composure in the back half. That was more of a case of communication. Obviously, he needs to be informed by his teammates, and a great chase down tackle in St Kilda.
Dare I say it, 14-4 for the season for Owens. From 48 metres out, the kick's on its way. And it's hit the left hand behind post, has it?
Still 14-4.
Still 14-4 for the season. Oh, there you go. So he's still 14-4 for the season. Marrick, dangerous kick in, though, and sliding down. Reid takes the mark in the right back pocket. No change to that score. The Eagles by 12 points. 90 seconds gone in the second term.
I hope they don't have ABC on in the St Kilda Euro coaches box as Reid steps around, kicks up the wing off the hands of Marshall and Flynn and out of bounds. If they were listening to us,
Ross has never been a fan.
He would be walking across and going, can you stop saying Mitch Owens is 14-4?
I remember talking to Ross on Sports Talk once and I dead set swear he was half asleep.
I think that's how he sounds most of the time, isn't it, Ross? Ball spun back in off the hands of Marshall down front of the stoppage. Hewitt couldn't take clean possession. Now Steele lays a tackle alongside Windhager.
Certainly wasn't half asleep a couple of weeks ago talking to Hugo Garcia.
I reckon he'd be awake right now given they're trailing by 12 points early in this second term. Burns from the restart is tackled and taken to ground will go again. Just below our commentary position here on the broadcast wing.
Euroke an extra at the stoppage and Wallage an extra behind the ball.
It's Brad Hill who is the extra. The ball was coming towards him at Hewitt. For Wallich Marawa hacked it out of the air up the wing and Owies was there to take the mark on the chest right in front of the interchange gates.
Waits for players to stream forward and then kicks high up into the air. Will land 45 metres out from goal. Sinclair's back there. Gets it for the Saints. Kicks around the body. Sends it beyond defensive 50. That's a great mark to Owens. He's been terrific today. Hands it off the Hill in the centre square. Goes back to centre half back. Oh, missed his target. Windhager stretches. Behind him, Hutchison can pounce on it. Has it for the Eagles. Measures the kick inside forward 50. Ryan had one go at it. Couldn't get there. Caminiti stole it away. Hand pass bounces its way towards Hill. He's under genuine pressure. Got tackled holding the ball. That's a great effort from Ryan. Followed it up. And he wins the free kick. He's in front of the left-hand goalpost who put boots of ball from 50 out for the Eagles.
Nightmare 30 seconds for Brad Hill. First he misses the easy target to give Jack Hutchinson a look inside 50 and then he coughs up under the pressure of a tackle for a free kick to Ryan.
Great second effort from Ryan as well. Contested the mark as he called from Hutchison and then butted up and laid a really strong tackle on Bradley Hill.
He took a deep breath, Ryan. Here he comes now. Liam Ryan for the Eagles. The kick is out to the right. Won't quite have the carry. It's off hands. Knocked through for a rush behind. 4-3-27. Wallach Marawa. Euroke. The Saints 2-2-14. 4 gone in the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital and the Listen app.
Sinclair, nice kick out beyond left half back. Found McLennan who handballs further ahead for Euroke to Webster. Under pressure. Have a horrible handball to Darcy Wilson. Had to fight through some traffic. Got it back to McLennan. He's tackled by Brock. Going the wrong way. Euroke. It comes to Waterman. Runs to 50. On the run. Kicks swinging back and hits the left upright. It was almost a terrific goal on the run for Jake Waterman. It's not to be. Wallach Marawa 4-4-28. Euroke 2-2-14. Margin 14 points. Almost 5 minutes played in the second Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
He kicked that too well. It came off the boot too well. Usually it would have faded left and right. Yeah.
Kicks beyond offensive 50. It's attacked here by the Eagles, and Reid gets onto it. He thumps it towards goal, and he brings the Eagles fans to their feet. He liked it as well. That's a solid celebration from Harley Reid. They made a blue with the kick in. Sinclair, ineffective. And then it spilled there for Reid to get hold of it, and he went bang. And the Eagles have got their fifth, 5-4-34, biggest lead of the game. They're up by 20 points over the Saints, who are 2-2-14. 5 and a bit gone in the second term.
Yeah, it was a great early read by Baker, who just saw the Euro player all on his own, pressed in, and a really good, strong body spoil from Baker, and Reid reaps the awards.
He did get the ball, Baker. Did he get the ball?
Yeah, he tapped it, got the ball.
Make sure.
Yep, smashed the player and the ball in the process.
McRae's come off after that contest. He was pretty sore.
Also saw just Owies come off as well. He looked rather dejected.
Akash Fodor downstairs.
Yeah, it is Matt Owies in the hands of the doctors and the physios on the bench, just trying to work out exactly what the issue is. He's a little bit hidden by a few things, so I'll update when I know exactly what's wrong.
Ball comes down to the broadcast swing. Wanganeen Miller gets it to steal. Had to go down on hands and knees to gather. Did well. Finds his ruckman Marshall in the middle. Handball to Filippo, who kicks inside the forward 50. Out in front, Brock. Good spoil. Straight down, though, to the Saints. It comes to Higgins. To Windhager. Back to Hall. Sucked in the pocket. Kicks to the top of the goal square. Wood flies across. Can't mark. Wilson snaps. Goals. Reid at one end. Wilson at the other. The two young guns trading blows. And an important goal for Eureka, who get their third. 3-2-20. Wallich Marawa, the Eagles, 5-4-34. 14-point margin restored. Mitch Turner here alongside Clint Wheeldon, Sharad Wellingham, Peter Bell. Let's go down to Akash Fodor on the boundary.
Yeah, Matt Owies' day is over. They've got ice on his lower leg. Tom Gross has taken the subs warm-up top off and is just doing some ball handling drills before he comes onto the ground.
Seen some high-class snaps in this game. That was a beauty from Darcy Wilson and Jamie Cripps earlier in the contest as well.
So the Eagles been forced to activate their sub. Tom Gross, an 18-year-old, has been thrown into the fray. It's the left calf of Owies that's the problem.
Yeah, a bit of a limp up too, which is not a good sign.
The restart, the Saints win the clearance. Wanganeen Miller gets a kick away for the Saints, but it's intercepted by Cole, who marks in a line of 4 at right half back for the Eagles. It doesn't look good for Owies at all as he made his way to the back of the bench. Cole takes a couple of steps forward and then kicks high up in the air towards centre wing. Punch in the middle of that pack from the Saints.
That's a good contest.
Towards Hunt, who attacked the football.
As that.
Win. And he was
the ruckman
strongly
pulls it up off the ground.
Scooped it up.
And then did the ballerina pirouette.
Got wrapped up by O'Connell for his troubles. He's involved again, Flynn, tapping it down to Reid. Straight away, taken by Steele. Tackles him to ground. No Pryor. Ball up again. Just forward of centre wing. Commentary sign of the ground in regards to where the Eagles are headed.
Two number 9s on each other. Steele v Reid. Steele was the one who won it down from the contest. Off to Philippa, who kicks it straight up in the air, and it's punched out of bounds by Baker. Ryan Marshall just grabbing his hand after that last ruck contest. It might be a finger issue.
Who'd want to be a ruck?
He's walked his way back, though.
Never a decision I had to...
Stands in front of Matt Flynn here. He wins the tap. Straight, though, in front of Hunt for Wallich Marawa, who gets it to Cole. Now to Hoff. Something kick up the line. Almost intercepted by Wilson. Couldn't take it. Wanganeen Miller lost it. Cole thought about the handball. Eventually found a better option inside to Flynn. To Kelly. Wobbling ball inside the forward 50. Wilkie. That's why he's so good out to meter. Intercepts it. Gets it to Wanganeen Miller, who just almost throws it in front of himself as he tries to keep it in. And the umpire's paid him for incision in Zen.
He's actually trying to keep it in.
He was trying to keep it in. He was running out of bounds and tried to handball the ball in bounds and has been pinned for insufficient intent.
I actually think he threw it, but the right result came in the end. Just the wrong decision. Kick from Hoff. Inside the forward, 50 rising and taking the mark is Caminiti. Strong work for Eureka on this occasion, still trailing by 14.
It was a disappointing kick inside 50 from Kelly in the end. But
had numbers.
Yeah, it was dangerous how they had the entire corridor there, Wallich Marawa.
Caminiti beyond defensive 50. Edwards at the back of the pack, won it down. Hoff gathered. It might have been taken high. No, according to the officials. I'll ball it up. Climbs up off the deck and hands it back to the umpire.
Inside 50s 23-12.
Put aloft. Flynn won it down against Marshall. Hoff in traffic. Kicked straight into a pack. Wanganeen Miller had got it out the side. Liam Ryan alongside Webster. They track it towards the boundary line. Neither decide to pick it up. It's over for a throw-in. Right half forward for the Eagles. All put back into play. Flynn again at the back with the more telling tap. Coming out towards Hill. Stolen away by the Eagles. Reed. Hand passes over his shoulder towards right half forward. Cripps has got 3 to beat. Eventually taken over the boundary line as O'Connell. Wrapped up strongly by Hunt. Ball up the cool. Or, beg your pardon, Sinclair. And we'll get it all wrong, Clint. It's going to be thrown in. Instead, I'll get there eventually. It's been a very, very average couple of days, I'll be honest. Spun back in again. One down by Flynn. Beautifully towards Ryan. Couldn't take it cleanly. That's out towards O'Connell, and he's hit strongly in a tackle by Brockman. He's hit his head too, so it's going to be a high call. He's okay, which is fortunate, and he elects to play on immediately by hand. The Saints away through half back. Oh, arching the back and taking a bounce. He takes 2. Wanganeen Miller are still going. Hands it off again. Now to Filippo. Filippo inside forward 50, measures the kick precisely, and he finds his way to Garcia, who marks 30 from goal. He'll go back and have a shot, and he'll start in line with the left hand behind post.
Once that first line of defence was pierced and you give up the corridor with a player like Messiah Wanganeen Miller, a good luck, and that was one of the quickest transferences of play you'd ever see.
Just saw a mountain of space in front of him and took off.
Here comes Garcia. Rising star nomination this year, the 19-year-old from 40 outs. The kick is out to the right. It misses. A minor score. 321 indeed. The Saints, Woolwich Marrowa 5-4-34. Just over 12 minutes gone in the second term.
Marek with the kicking duties again. Spears one inside the defensive 50 to Hoff. Continues running. Marek with a bit of pace. Takes a bounce beyond defensive 50. Kicks up the southern wing. Kick doesn't favour a teammate at all. It was over the head of Brockman. It's turned over. Uro win it back, and Webster will have it. The defensive edge of the centre square has an option short. Kicks, finds McRae. Still on the defensive side of the centre square. They are going slowly here. Uro kicks out to the wing. Burns takes the mark. Southern side of the ground. Thought about going. Chose not to in the end. The shadow just slowly creeping its way over to that southern side as Burns goes down the wing over the hands of the intended target. It falls to Brock of Woolwich Marrowa. Back to Harry Edwards. His kick up the wing, and standing in front again is Burns. Another strong intercept mark from Uro, and he'll come inboard.
Reed attacks the football though against McRae. Couldn't take it cleanly. Webster went crashing in. Reed was able to work it out the side, but not before the umpire said we'll ball it up. And Webster on the ground as Reed uses him to force himself up himself. It's going to come back here. It's just inside the outer edge of the centre square, not too far from right half back for the Saints. Haley Williams palms it down beautifully for the Eagles. Got it to Graham. Former Tiger sends it long towards full forward. Umpire spotted a free kick. It's going the Eagles' way. It's going to Oscar Allen.
And it's an opportunity for Woolwich Marrowa when Bailey Williams comes up into the ruck. He's really going to be opposed to Mashido Owens, who's more a forward. Look, he's a tough player, very good one-on-one, but he's not ruckman quality. And so the clear tap out to advantage, long kick to a dangerous spot, and the St Kilda defender panics. Oscar Allen gets a shot at goal.
Unnecessary panic too, because they had the extra Uro at the contest.
Right in front, the co-captain. He's kicked 4-2 this season. He's been through a bit over the last couple of weeks. Kicks on its way. And if you wondered if they still love him at West Coast, the fan reaction will tell you something about that. Big cheer around the ground, and every player comes to him. Whatever his future is, he's still well loved at the Eagles. Oscar Allen Gives West Coast Woolwich Marrawah their 6th. 6-4-40 to the Saints. 3-3-21. 14 and a bit gone in the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport, on ABC Radio, Sport Digital, and as always on the AFL button on the ABC Listen app. Quick update. Up at the Gabba, the Lions lead by 13 points there. 12-9 to the Demons, 10-8. So 12-9-81 to Nam, 10-8-68. And that's just in the opening 60 seconds of the final term.
It was young McLennan who panicked and gave away the hold opposed to Allen.
Allen's first goal at home since round 1 against the Suns. So local fans have waited a while to see him find a major from the restart. McRae for Euro gets it across to Windhager. Looping handball back in the centre square to Filippo. Stood up in the tackle, got it to Windhager, almost run down, and somehow manages to spear his kick to Hall, who marks right on the 50. Thought about going back and having a shot. Instead, kicks it into the pocket. The target is Wood. It's over his head, spoiled by Jinby. Comes down to Duggan, whose tumbling kick ricochets off of McRae and goes out of bounds just inside right half forward. So inside Euro's forward line, they trail by 19. 16 minutes played, second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport, and a beautiful day here at Perth Stadium.
Boundary umpire unfurls. Williams won it down. Straight to a Saint, though. Got tackled. Cut it out. That Filippo. Still there to be won. Here comes Hoff. Might have been taken high there. Umpire says he was. Took some time. It's against McRae. Oh, no. He's decided he's going to ball it up instead. Oh, Williams takes clean possession. That was interesting. Up against Marshall. Kicks towards the southern wing in the bright sunshine. Caminiti goes out after it. Took a touch towards the boundary line. This will be interesting. It is deliberate. Or insufficient intent. Certainly was insufficient intent. And Reid looks to play on quickly, and he'll do so. Moving it on and turn to Brockman, who goes down the line as West Coast look to build up again.
Hewitt wearing the bright blue boots today. He has the ball just in the sun on the southern side. Kicks up towards half forward, flying high and punching.
Free kick against
from
Waterman.
Behind was McLennan, but it's going to Wilkie, actually. So there was 2 Saints players in the contest against Waterman, and Waterman infringed on Wilkie.
Early push on Wilkie.
There you go. Heard Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell giving their thoughts. They come across their own defensive 50. Hill now to Sinclair for the Saints. Sinclair chips it further afield to Hill, who kept running. Takes the mark, hits the deck and kicks it straight away up towards Higgins. One-on-one with Marrick. Marrick has the reach as it hit the deck. Handballed across to Baker. Was strong getting it to Brockman. Now Jimby through the centre square, goes short and finds Gross the sub.
Gross moving it on to Hoff, who marks. He's got Ryan with him, uses him by hand. Ryan runs towards right half forward, kicks inside forward 50, and Reid marks and gets plenty of advice by the players around him to go back and have a shot. Slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the right. He'll kick from right on 50.
Woolwich Marrawah beginning to look really dangerous with the change of angles and just unsettling Euro's team defence. There were players out everywhere, whichever direction they looked then.
Well, from up here, I was expecting a nice out the open side.
The open side, yeah.
But the kick from Gross opened up the skinny side of the ground where Woolwich Marrawah actually had a massive outnumber.
Harley Reid already with a goal today from 50 out. That is a cannon of a right boot, and that is through for a goal. Punches the air to celebrate with the Eagles fans. He's got his second. Wow. We were wondering when he might have one of those games that he explodes. In the last 10 minutes or so, he's done just that, which makes us wonder, do St Kilda do as they did last year and decide to put the clamp on him? Listen to the reaction as he comes to the bench. Huge number of Eagles fans below our position on the northern wing, just pausing to applaud Harley Reid, who's got a couple. 7-4-46 the Eagles, 3-3-21 the Saints, 19 gone in the second term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham, our experts.
Second goal from turnover in this quarter, and that's 5 for the half. So that just shows you how set Woolwich Marrawah's defence has been, and then the space that they have to work it back to goal. Helps when you got a guy who can nail it from outside 50, like Harley has.
Looks like he gave the 3-point celebration like in basketball because it was beyond the arc.
You get okay.
That was a little bit tap to the head, the old Carmelo Anthony celebration from the NBA in the US. They like to celebrate these young kids. Ball back in the middle. Hewitt couldn't gather for Walid Chamara. Wanganeen Miller could. Left foot kick out towards half forward. Duggan able to bump his opponent in Collard off it. Baker back there for the Eagles. Handball backwards to Marrick up the wing. Wanganeen Miller went very early on Hoff and quite obviously gave away the free kick in the marking contest. So Hoff will kick up the wing. Hunt, was he taken high? No. Ball hits the deck. Duggan.
Oh,
backheel kick. Back to Hunt. That was clever. Now to Waterman. To Brockman. They go inside 50, the Eagles. Top of the goal square. Knocked down. Gross. Across to Cole. Tom Cole loves a goal. He misses. Oh, it was exciting stuff, but he couldn't finish it. He celebrates as well as anyone. Not on this occasion.
There's something about Tom Gross. Just things happen when he's near the footy. I really like him.
His decision to hit that contest exactly as he did was so textbook Crumming.
7-5-47, the Eagles, 3-3-21, St Kilda. What a kick from Duggan.
I've heard of back passes, but goodness me, that was ridiculous. The kick is towards left half forward. It's one down here by the Saints through Sharman. Sharing it around. It comes again to McRae. He'll kick into the left forward pocket. Big pack up. Umpire's spotted a mark, and it's going the way.
He had enough of it.
Of the Eagles. He did indeed. In Brock, it'll come back to him.
And with that tall defence, that's exactly what you'd expect from Brock. Edwards has got to do that as well. Just feast on any pressured entry into Euro's forward 50.
So Brock with a big kick towards centre wing. 2-on-2 battle, stretching Flint. Came down the back to the Saints. Went to Caminiti, then to Webster. Chance for Sinclair. He'll steer it back inside his defensive 50. McClelland stabs it forward to Steele. Marked in the centre square. Goes on a run around Gross. Will kick into the right forward pocket. 1-on-1 battle here. And then the free kick.
It'll go to Owens. Hold against Brock.
And that's the way it's been described. And there's a little bit of afters behind it too.
Is that Liam Duggan?
It really is. Duggan and Garcia almost shaping up to each other. And then Duggan went in there to just tell everyone to calm down, and still there's some push and shove going on. There's certainly a bit of afters. Collard's involved as well. They're dead set shaped up for a moment, those two.
They're going to say it?
What?
Mitch Owens?
I'm not. I'm leaving it right alone. Here he goes. Kicks on its way. He's now got 14-5 for the season. He misses to the right-hand side. Can't blame me for that, Saints. Not that I believe in that sort of stuff. 7-5-47 the Eagles, 3-4-22 the Saints. 22 gone in the second.
Long kick out taken by Brockman. Having a nice game. The Eagles' disposal, number 9 for him as he retreats back inside defensive 50. Tom Cole, a long way from the attacking goal face where he was just a moment ago. Goes to left half back. Brock kicks up the wing, sets a task for Jimby. 2-on-1 against the young Eagle. Manages to gather and kick up the line, but he stepped out of bounds before he did so.
Smart play from Jimby, get it out of bounds. He was outnumbered. Brady Hoff is starting to have an influence. He's up to 13 possessions. And just the intensity, remember that chase earlier in the second quarter, both sides of the ball, is really developing.
All spun back in. Just goes past Hoff from the restart. Garcia first there for Euro. Campbell across to Steele. Tumbling ball inside the forward 50. Duggan gathered under pressure. He kicks it high. It's flirting with the boundary line. Steele marks it, not 15. Steps out of bounds as he's tackled by Baker. For a moment, could have been an argument that it was unnecessary from Baker to take Steele to ground, but not sure he was convinced that it had gone out of bounds. So it'll be tossed back in just outside right half forward for the Saints. They trail by 25 here in the second.
Ball back into play. Only J. Williams won it down. Spins out the way though of McRae. Hand pass to Wilson on the run. Great smother Baker. Full stretch. Superman-like dive. Made sure Wilson wasn't sending that goalward. That is a genuine 1%er from Baker. Outstanding.
He's been low possession, high impact today, Liam Baker. Everything that he's done has had an impact for Walid Chamara.
Only J. Williams won it down again. Still there to be one. Come out the back. Ooh. Kelly with a strong tackle. Cray got wrapped up and taken to ground. Thought for a moment his head was into the turf, but it's okay. Umpire will ball it up. Still at right half forward for the Saints. Marshall won it down for Euro. Manganine Miller spun out of trouble. Sinclair got a kick into the right forward pocket. Front position, Cole. Good mark for the Eagles. No change to that scoreboard. 7-5-47 to the Saints. 3-4-22. West Coast in front. 25 gone in the second.
Cole, short, little dangerous. Cripps able to take the mark. His premiership teammate back to another premiership teammate in Liam Duggan. There's only one other out there, and that's Liam Ryan today from that 2018 premiership side, as the kick from Duggan goes out towards left half back, and a long lead from Jake Waterman. Takes the mark. Now looks to go up the southern side. Kicks to the big pack of players. Flynn could mark at the back. Wilson takes it for the Saints. Gives it to Sinclair. Out of Marshall. Short kick. Ricochets off the chest of Caminiti. Should have marked that. Cripps steals it. Kicks over the top to Gross, who takes the mark. Thought about playing on. Webster holds him up. Now kicks it inside the forward 50, and Flynn floating forward. The chance to go back and kick his second. That's one way to try and hurt Rowan Marshall.
Absolutely. Excellent play from Matt Flynn. Marshall turned it over and Flynn was off to the races. And again, Gross hard out of the stoppage, looked inboard. And there were 3 Woolwich Maranoa players he could have hit with the open mark.
Oh, ball played on by Flynn. Handball across to Waterman, who comes from behind. Goes long from outside 50. It falls short. The Saints, through Wilkie, are able to clear to right half back, and he finds a teammate out wide in Steele. Almost missed that looking down on my notes.
25 points, the Eagles lead. 26 gone in the second. Saints went down the outer wing, marked there by Hall. Maxwell in game 10. Stomps and props and then gets a kick away. It's a long 1-2 towards right half forward. Massive pack up. Off hands. It spills down to Brock. Got it to Kelly for the Eagles. Now to Cole, to Waterman. Back in defence to Baker. Hands it to Marrick. He'll kick dangerously and it's intercepted. He wanted Hunt instead. Marshall got in front. Immediately spots a player out the back in Higgins, who marks at left ball forward.
What we say pre-match?
Can anticipate.
The best anticipator in the game.
Higgins works his way around onto his right boot and he snaps it through. Jack Higgins, goal 24 of the season. And a much-needed one for Uroke. Higgins with his first of the game. The Saints have got their fourth. They move to be 4-4-28. The Eagles remain 7-5-47. 27 and a bit gone in the second term. The Eagles lead cut to 19 points. And an update for you at the Gabba. It's got very tight. The Lions lead by just 1 over the Demons. 12-10-82 to Nam 12-10. No, they've just got a behind Melbourne. Scores a level at the Gabba. Both the Lions and the Demons 12-10-82. 13 gone in the final term up there.
No way to be kind here. Ryan Marrick just had to take the medicine and a long, deep injury close to the boundary. He tried to fashion a kick which got turned over. Marshall got it over the top to Higgins.
All back in the middle again. Uroke with a little bit of momentum. Bailey Williams taps it down, does the roving. Handball off to Harley Reid from 60 metres out. Kicks long. Flynn is there in a one-on-one with Caminiti. And the Uroke defender does well. Knocks it out of bounds. Could let you guess all day who's kicked 4 for the Brisbane Lions in that other contest. And I reckon you probably wouldn't pick it. Darcy Gardner has 4 goals. The defender. He kicked 9 in his entire career before this. Ball spun back here at Perth Stadium. Off the hands the 2 rucks. Sinclair takes it. Kicks out towards the southern wing. Higgins v Cole. One-on-one contest. Cole pushes Higgins off it, then gathers. Tries to shake him. Has to use a teammate in Hutchinson, who goes back to Cole. Tumbling ball inside the forward 50 in Webster. Able to get across and take the intercept mark on his chest for Uroke, who are pushing, but they still trail by 19 points.
Moved inboard. Comes to Sinclair. He marks. Plays on to Webster. Marking still inside his defensive 50 between fullback and centre half back. Has the option of a runner going behind him. Sinclair receives it. It's towards the outer side. No mark taken. Chase on out the back. Hunt goes to ground, trying to tap it inboard. Owens bounced upon it. Got a hand pass to Wilson. Back to Owens. Great play again there by Marrick. Applied the pressure. Came out the side of the spillage. The Eagles through Baker. Clearing kick towards the outer wing. Hewitt affects the tackle, and the Saint who got there first, they wrap him up. It's going to be a ball up
They'd love to hold on here, Woolwich Marrawar, and go into half-time with a nice lead.
Underneath it was O'Connell. We'll throw it up from the restart. No one can take it away. We're going to ball it up again. The two rucks were battling, and then Graham wraps up Steele after the ball came out his way. Marshall slaps it forward for the Saints. Kelly tapped it down straight into the path of Sinclair. The kick is inside forward 50. Cole has to track it, goes over his head. He allows it to bounce, then gathers, gave it to Waterman. Hand pass to Jindy. Did well under pressure. And Jindy can take a bounce at right half back.
There's time enough yet for Woolwich Marra if they go quickly. Handball over the top to Hutchinson. Forward handball to Liam Ryan. Tries a risky one in front of Graham, who tries to slap it forward. Caminiti meets it for Uroke. Short handball to Wanganeen Miller. There is time. They've got to get it inside 50 to Saints. Garcia runs around in circles. That may have just been the final dagger, and he had players free inside 50. They were lucky, Woolwich Marra. There was two Saints all on their own, Higgins and Sharman, and they were beaten by the siren. In the end, Woolwich Marra do enough to hold on at the back end of the first half, and they take a 19-point lead into half-time. So 2 quarters won for the Eagles, 7-5-47. Uroke, they are 4-4-28.
So they've stretched their lead, which was 12 points at quarter time. The Eagles out to 19 at the half. Here's how their goal kickers look. Harley Reid's got 2. The rest are singles to Waterman, to Hunt, to Oscar Allen, to Cripps and to Flynn. While to Uroke, Higgins with 1. Wilson with 1. Mason Wood has 2. The Eagles 7-5-47 to the Saints 4-4-28. The Demons have hit the front at the Gabba for the first time since the 21-minute mark of the opening term. Nama's in front, 17 minutes into the final term. 13-11-89 to the Lions, 12-10-82. The Demons by 7, just repeating, 17 minutes into the final term. Half-time here at Perth Stadium. And it's the Eagles by 19. Let's get the thoughts of our experts here on ABC Sport, around the nation on ABC Radio, on ABC Sport Digital, and on the AFL button if you're streaming on the ABC Listen app. Our experts today, Hall of Famer Peter Bell, Premiership Pie, Sharad Willingham.
I think it's been a pretty rounded performance from Woolwich Marra. Yeah, mature as well. They've had great intensity around the footy. They've been organised in defence. They've scored from turnover. They've scored a couple of goals from stoppage. And I just like what they did in that second quarter, but just controlling the ball a little bit more as well, and making Uroke defend. And lo and behold, a number of pockets opened up for them, and they looked dangerous in that phase of the game as well. So quite a mature performance from Woolwich Marra in the first half. One player who did have a huge impact for Uroke in that second quarter was Sinclair. He had the 13 disposals, up to 20 for the match. So that'll be something that they'll just be weighing up. We can't afford to let him and Wanganeen Miller have that amount of footy.
And you can really see it's so evident what they're trying to do by using them to break that bubble and get it inside, and then continue to move the ball quickly, catching the Woolwich Marra defenders offside and getting it out the back. And so while it might look from up here as if they're spending a lot of time in the back half, it's a clear mindset that once they are back there, they're happy to be patient and wait to get that ball inside the bubble, and then as soon as they get it in there, they want to get it moving very quickly and try and catch them offside and out the back. And we've seen it a number of times where it's worked. So I'm not sure that Woolwich Marra need to change anything in what they're doing. They need to stick tough. I don't want to see them come out in the start of the third quarter, like we saw Walyalup do the other day here against the Pies, and change what they were doing and try to retain the ball. I think they need to continue what they're doing and try to take the game on in that well-rounded version of the game that we're seeing from them. I do love that we're seeing goals from turnover, which means the intensity is there and the intent to chase, tackle, create those turnovers, but then being efficient once they do get it. And like you said, the change of angles. So that's something that we haven't really seen from Woolwich Marra this season, and it's a nice change because it means that they've got some confidence in what they've been doing during the week, doesn't it?
Yep. And that ability, and you're right, Euro Europe looked their most dangerous, and they're a very good rebound 50 to forward 50 chain of possession team.
They went from that goal.
That was the world record speed, that one.
The one that was literally spoiled on the line all the way to Higgins marking it in the forward 50 for Euro Europe.
But that composure for Woolwich Marrowa to take the ball and get it close to that area between sort of the centre bounce area and the forward 50. So if they can get a mark or get a chain of possession and kick it from there rather than further up the field, it just it allows the ball to go in deeper, which makes it harder for Euro Europe to defend, and they've got to come through more numbers. There's more density behind it.
And I think that when we have seen them do that, it's been a kick to a more congested contest and less likely of a mark to one of the key St Kilda defenders or Marshall, who's working. I'm not sure he took as many marks that quarter. He didn't have as huge of an impact, but he's still having an impact in the air with a couple of extra marks that quarter. Got up to 6 for the half already, all of which, so 5 of them are intercept marks.
The clearance numbers are gradually edging Euro Europe's way, so that's where McQualter would be really imploring his ruckman, first of all, to really take it up to Marshall, make it as dirty ball as possible, and make their clearances for Euro Europe as dirty as possible so that they can't get any quality field position. So that'll be one element of the game that they'll be addressing, as well as those halfback players of Euro Europe. So if they break that first line of pressure and there's not enough on, it just looks so damaging, particularly if you go corridor. We saw that. If they give up that first line of pressure and then Euro Europe in the corridor, their goal side runners are just so dangerous to try and contain. So that'll be a real focus as well.
It's a little bit of a strange one with the clearances, because Euro Europe are absolutely winning by the numbers, but the hit-outs, and it's a little bit more even there with 23 to 18 in favour of. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. So between Williams and also Flynn,
they're actually on top in the hit-outs,
and maybe that's part of the plan with the two ruckmen just grind Marshall all day and set Woolwich Marrowa up for the big second half.
Don't mind it.
Thoughts of Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham here on ABC Sport. Just repeating earlier today, North by 4 over Richmond. There is that game that's currently underway. 22 minutes gone now in the last. The Demons have stretched that lead a little bit further. They're edging away from Brisbane at the moment. Narm by 9 points, 14-13-97 to the Lions, 13-10-88. But here at Perth Stadium at halftime, the Eagles hoping for their first victory of the season. They lead at the major break by 19 points, 7-5-47 to the Saints, 4-4-28. We'll pause here at Perth Stadium and get the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News, I'm Thanmaya Navada. The inauguration mass of Pope Leo XIV will soon begin in Vatican City. Foreign Affairs reporter Stephen Jedgetts is there.
Thousands of the faithful and hundreds of journalists from around the world have gathered here in St Peter's Square to hear from Pope Leo XIV. Many people in the crowd have been breaking into song before the mass commences. The 69-year-old, who was born in Chicago, is the first pope to hail from North America. He will receive a golden ring and a white wool liturgical garment to mark his ascension. The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has joined dozens of other world leaders and senior officials at the event.
The inauguration is also being seen as an opportunity for world leaders to meet in a more respectful setting. Anthony Albanese is meeting with the European Commissioner Ursula von der Leyen, Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, while bilateral talks have also taken place among other leaders. Director of the Australian Catholic University's Centre for Liturgy, Claire Johnson, says the setting lends itself to friendlier discussions.
This is a great opportunity for them to witness the respect that people treat each other with in terms of these liturgical events. So hopefully some of the Pope's intentions of engaging people in a peaceful way and encouraging peace will rub off on some of the leaders of the world.
2 Mexican Navy crew members have been killed when the masts on their tall ship snapped off in a collision with New York's Brooklyn Bridge, while 19 of their colleagues have been injured. As the BBC's Pratiksha Gildial reports, 277 people were on board.
The incident happened shortly after sunset here on the East River, prompting a multiple agency response, including the NYPD and the fire department. Dramatic social media footage shows the masts of the ship with a huge Mexican flag grazing the bottom of the iconic Brooklyn Bridge and debris falling off. The ship then veers off towards the shore and onlookers are seen running away from the scene. Local media reports say the ship lost power before the collision.
Residents in the US Midwest are being warned of more wild weather after tornadoes that have left at least 27 people dead. 17 of the deaths occurred in one single county in the state of Kentucky as a devastating tornado damaged homes, tossed vehicles and left many people homeless. Philemon Gertsen from the National Weather Service says the damage has been severe.
There's been homes that have been severely damaged to unrecognizably flattened in some areas. Also, another concern is the potential for flooding as we get multiple rounds of rain.
Back home, the New South Wales State Emergency Service is urging communities across northern New South Wales to prepare for flooding, with heavy rainfall expected to smash the coast. Keely Johnson reports.
The Bureau of Meteorology is forecasting widespread 24-hour rainfall totals of 50 to 100 millimetres across parts of the Hunter and Mid-North Coast, with possible isolated rainfall totals exceeding 180 millimetres, which the SES says would cause significant flash flooding. Minor to moderate flooding is likely in all major rivers from Bellingen to Newcastle from tomorrow. The SES says coastal waterways are already responding quickly to the rainfall as catchments are saturated. The SES says it's positioning aviation assets and high clearance vehicles throughout the regions today.
Victoria Police say a car crash which badly injured 3 boys, 2 of them critically in Melbourne's west overnight, was entirely preventable. The 16-year-old boys were all travelling in an allegedly stolen SUV when they hit another car and then a pole in Tarneet just before 1:30 this morning. The occupants of the other car did not suffer any serious injuries. Detective Acting Sergeant Melanie McFarlane says the boys' behaviour was catastrophic.
The 3 young occupants of the black SUV all suffered serious injuries and went to hospital. They're fighting for their lives. Their injuries are so severe that they're not under police guard.
And in Super Netball, the New South Wales Swifts have beaten Sydney rivals the Giants 82-69. New Zealand goal shooter Grace Nowicki finished with 64 goals from 67 attempts for the Swifts. The Swifts are unbeaten after 6 rounds, while the Giants are on the bottom of the ladder. And you are all up to date with the very latest on ABC News. For more news at any time, download the ABC Listen app.
The footy might stop with the final siren. But with ABC AFL, the conversation keeps rolling. Get ABC AFL Daily Podcast with Premiership coach Paul Roos alongside Corbin Middlemass, Ben Cameron and Poppy Penny.
From walking on thin ice to dancing on the mountaintop.
It's your daily footy conversation. Find it on the ABC Listen app. This is the Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
Kick beyond offensive 50. It's attacked here by the Eagles, and Reid gets onto it. He thumps it towards goal, and he brings the Eagles fans to their feet. He liked it as well. That's a solid celebration from Harley Reid. They made a blue with the kick in. Sinclair ineffective. And then it spilled there for Reid to get hold of it. And he went bang. The Eagles have got their 5th.
Brock, good spoil. Straight down, though, to the Saints. It comes to Higgins, to Windhager, back to Hall. Tucked in the pocket. Kick to the top of the goal square. Wood flies across, can't mark. Wilson snaps, goals. Reid at one end, Wilson at the other. The 2 young guns trading blows.
Ali Williams palms it down beautifully for the Eagles. Got it to Graham. Former Tiger sends it long towards full forward. Umpire spotted a free kick. It's going the Eagles' way. It's going to Oscar Allen. Right in front, the co-captain. He's kicked 4-2 this season. He's been through a bit over the last couple of weeks. Kicks on its way. And if you wondered if they still love him at West Coast, the fan reaction will tell you something about that. Big cheer around the ground and every player comes to him. Ryan runs towards right half forward, kicks inside forward 50, and Reid marks and gets plenty of advice by the players around him to go back and have a shot. Slightly better than a 45-degree angle to the right. He'll kick from right on 50. Harley Reid already with a goal today from 50 out. That is a cannon of a right boot, and that is through for a goal. Punches the air to celebrate with the Eagles fans. He's got his second. We were wondering when he might have one of those games that he explodes. In the last 10 minutes or so, he's done just that.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls Round.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
And it was a cracking second goal from Harley Reid. The first one was pretty good as well. He's got 2 so far of the Eagles' 7. 7-5-47. Wallach Marrowa. Well, as opposed to Euroke, the Saints 4-4-28. It is full time up at the Gabba, and Brisbane have suffered just their second loss of the season. So 2 losses and 1 draw. So they're without a win since round 8. If they'd been pedantic, because of course the 71 points all draw to North Melbourne last week, but they lost to Collingwood at the Gabba in round 6. They've now gone down to the Demons by 11 points up at the Gabba in Brisbane. 14-15-99. Nam, the Brisbane Lions 13-10-88. So that's a big result for Melbourne, who had won 3 in a row between rounds 6 and 8, beating Fremantle, Richmond and West Coast. Dropped last week to Hawthorn by 35 points, but have hit back with a win today by 11 points over the Lions. Big result for the Demons up in Brisbane, which has recently been a very tough place to go and get a result. Turning our attention back here to Perth Stadium, the numbers are in front of Mitch Turner. The one that matters most, the Eagles by 19 points. What else have you got, Mitch?
Some of the team stats first from that first half of football. The contested possession count, Euroke actually lead at 76-68. The marks, 48-37. Also the way of the visitors today. The inside 50s, though, the way of Wallach Marrowa, 30-24. The hit-outs, 23-17. Also, surprisingly maybe, the way of the Eagles. The clearance count, though, 24-16. The way of the Saints. The tackle count, 36-31. The way of the Eagles as well. The free kick count is 14-8 to those who like to follow that stat closely. Individually, Jack Sinclair, he has 20 disposals for Euroke. Rowan Marshall has 17 touches to go with his 17 hit-outs and 6 marks. I'll have to flick it back so I can see the mouse moving. There you go. We're still in the right order. Wangane Miller also has 17 for the Saints, for Wallach Marrowa. Marek with 13, Hoff with 13, Cole with 12, Duggan and Harley Reid with 10 touches each. But Harley also has the 2 goals to go with that as well. He's having a fair say in that first half of football.
A couple of NRL games just to bring you up to date with today. The Dragons have beaten the Broncos 30-26, so a 4-point win to St George Illawarra over Brisbane. Big win for the Raiders, beating the Titans 40-24, and the Tigers take on the Rabbitohs. That game starting in about 9 minutes time, I should say, at Campbelltown. So the Tigers and the Rabbitohs, the last game of the Sunday slate in the NRL. Wins to the Dragons over the Broncos and the Raiders over the Titans. Just repeating earlier today as well, North Melbourne by 4 points over Richmond, 12-6-78 to the Tigers, 11-8-74. What do we expect in this second half? If you're Ross Lyon, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham, would you close down Harley Reid, or would you be happy enough with how that's proceeding as a battle? Are there other things that you'd need to worry about more so from the way West Coast are travelling up by 19 points at the break?
I don't think that they need to pay him too much closer attention. I'd maybe say to one of the midfielders, make sure you're watching him on transition. He's getting forward pretty well, obviously, with his ability to hit the scoreboard. But I don't think that they need to go to the extent of what they did last year and plant Windhager on him. If he comes out and has 3 clearances in the first 5 minutes or something like that, potentially, but I don't think that he is that damaging at the moment that they need to change what they're doing. I'd like to see them maybe maybe adjust what they're doing at clearance and the way they're exiting stoppage before I would think about changing a one-on-one matchup.
So you're looking for more sort of
more aggressive,
more damage at more corridor or out the front sort of looks if you can possibly conjure it. Easier said than done.
Easier said than done. But I feel like West Coast they're being quite aggressive at the stoppage. Have you noticed that after the stoppage, if they're not ball in hand, it's really offside. They're getting really aggressive and opening up the back side of the stoppage. So St Kilda, I think, need to. I can keep saying St Kilda. Euro need to make sure that they recognise the potential for that and try and maybe find some space at the stoppage and find that offensive side for them, because at the moment they're both going to the same area at the clearance.
Just watching Liam Ryan in the warm-up at half-time, and he is really moving like an old man. So that knock that he sustained to the lower limb area has cooled down, obviously, at half-time. He's going to start on the interchange, but he wasn't moving very well at all. I'm sure he'll be fine once the ball is bounced.
Yes, he looks like I do when I get out of bed in the morning. I have the greatest sympathy for him at the moment. He's not moving smoothly at all for a very smooth mover. Of course, the Eagles have already made their sub. Tom Gross is on. Matt Owies limped off the ground. Ice on the left calf, so had no further role to play, and he did look very sore as he made his way off the ground. The match review officer is handed down for Saturday in round 10. His thoughts: Sam Switkowski has copped a fine for tripping a second offence against Jack Buckley, so he'll cop with an early plea, $3,750. Ouch. Intentional, low and body. But that's the only one to worry about from yesterday's games. Ball held aloft out in the middle. The Eagles, can they win their first game of the season? We'll find out in about half a game of footy. Here's Mitch Turner.
Ball back up in the air. Marshall v Flynn comes out the way of Wallich Marawa. Graham off to Harley Reid. Has a bit of space. Spearing kick inside the forward 50. Too low for the leading Bailey Williams. It ricochets off of his chest to Garcia, who tumbles one back to Graham. They'll go back inside the forward 50, the Eagles. Allen's there, so too Waterman. Both knocked underneath it. Webster for Euro kicks outside defensive 50. Too low for Wood. Players crashing in. They'll have a ball up just on the southern side of the ground. It's a little patch of sun there now. Most of the ground is covered by the shade here at Perth Stadium. Restart again. Marshall taps it down. Reid, gang tackle, loses the ball. Comes to Graham. Kick inside the forward 50 is a low one. Dropping the mark there for Euro. Is the defender who cops it straight to Allen. Now to Gross. He's tackled, dispossessed. Coming through, clearing the ball is O'Connell. Kicks out towards the wing. Higgins and Duggan one-on-one. Spills down to Jimby, who goes short and finds Hutchinson by foot. He has it just beyond left half forward. 65 from home. Kicks a very high ball to the top of the goal square. Waterman flew. It was Reid in front. It came down to Allen, who kicks it towards Bailey Williams. Taps it out of the air onto his boot through the goals. A creative goal to get the second half underway. Williams, Bailey J. couldn't take the mark. It was only a short kick. It didn't go that far at all. Williams out of the air while wrestling the defender, tapped it onto his boot. Not quite Daniel Wells at Subiaco, but it was a nice bit of work out of the air. The Eagles strike first in the third quarter. Margin now 25. Wallich Marawa 8-5-53. Euro 4-4-28. Our experts for Sunday footy on ABC Sports, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
It was very smart. It was very smart.
It's audacious.
Yes, he's holding off the Euro defender and managed to plant it right in front of him. Nice soft hands. And then it was a drop kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, tapped it down like a ruck tap and drop kicked it through.
That's a very clever bit of play. Flynn up against Marshall in the middle. Not a great bounce, so we'll have it back from the umpire and he'll hurl it up into the air. Flynn palms it down against Marshall. Had a second go at it, but Marshall's able to pick it up off the deck. Brockman got him, wrapped him up, took him to ground. Umpire says play on. The Eagles will win it through the middle. Hoff gets a kick away, inside forward 50. Allen tapped it down, came there to Gross, threw it on the boot, went up and down in the elevator shaft, not forward too much. Comes out the side, eventually to Waterman, to Hutchison across half forward. Clever hand pass to Hoff, now to Duggan, to Brockman, who's run down by Marshall, holding the ball. Great play by the big ruck. Moves it short to Hill at centre half back. He gets told to play on, not far enough to be a mark, so he'll kick immediately towards the commentary wing. Travels past Owens and alongside him, Sandy Brock. We've got ourselves a throw-in beneath our broadcast position on the northern wing. The Eagles lead 8-5-53 to the Saints 4-4-28. 3 gone in the third. Sunday footy on ABC Sports, ABC Radio, Sport Digital and on the ABC Listen app.
Spun back in. Marshall gets himself to the front. Tapped it straight through the hands of Jack Steele. The Eagles trying to work it out now. The handball intended to Harley Reid was chopped off by Garcia. He spilt it now. Wanganeen Miller is taken out of bounds. Maybe overpossessed at half forward by the Eagles. Bally, Shaz.
Yeah.
Just get it in.
Yes and no. I think that there's a potential for it to just be marked by the opposition, as we've seen so much happen.
Marshall tries to whack it to a teammate with a fist that goes to Hoff. He's taken in a tackle by Steele, and the tackle lingered too long when Hoff did not have the ball. So he'll win the free kick. The defender now midfielder for the time being. The right shoulder strapped. And he has the ball just backward of the wing.
Goes on a trundle. Hoff will then kick to a big pack at left half forward. Front position Marshall came down, bustling through Graham. Got it to Gross for the Eagles. Hands it back to Waterman. From left half forward, sends it inside forward 50. Allen stretches, couldn't mark. Coming the other way, Bailey J. Williams gave it off to Brockman. Snaps on goal, misses to the right-hand side from about 40 metres out. Minor score.
Outstanding crumb, wasn't it, from Bailey Williams there?
A couple of times.
One-handed.
Yeah, seen the big fella just hoover it up. 8-6-54 to 4-4-28. The Eagles lead the Saints. What have we gone? 5 minutes into the third.
The Saints go by hand on the outer side. Wilson to Wood. Kicks up the wing. Filippo in space and drops the chest mark. Sucks up against the boundary line. Unopposed in the end. Just spills it. It's a boundary throw in. A few head shakes as we can see vision of Ross Lyon in the box. Doesn't like little mistakes. Don't want to make too many of those. If you're a Euro player, Marshall taps it from the restart. Stolen by the Eagles. Hewitt, his handball couldn't find a teammate. Crashing in now, both Kelly and Hall. And they maul their way towards left half forward. The paint of 50 is where the umpire will toss it up again. Marshall taps it down. Hewitt overran it. Wanganeen Miller was clean. Got a handball to Garcia in close confines. Couldn't get away from Brockman, and they'll try to restart again.
Just interesting, Euro have gone with all 6 forwards inside 50, sort of away from the stoppage, which is a little different from what they've done previously in getting a forward or even 2 up to the stoppage. So just trying something a little bit different.
Wanganeen Miller went low hard. Hewitt tackled him well over the boundary line, and they'll toss it in between wing and half forward, favouring Euroke's end. They trail, though, by 26 points here. Start of the third term.
Looks strange to see that many players forward of the ball.
Does. Great spot. Peter Belt thrown in. Marshall goes down onto his knees. Got a hand pass away. Forward, but intercepted by Baker of the Eagles. Hand pass again for Hewitt. Hands it off to Baker, who continued his run. He takes a bounce on the southern wing. Still going Baker. Kicks inside forward 50. No mark taken. Saints look to mop it up. Burns was there. Hands it off to Wilkie and now to Hill. Hill kicks beyond defensive 50 to left half back where Marshall will mark.
Short over the top goes the ruck. Finds Mitch Owens on the logo. Far side, southern side of Perth Stadium. Shields his eyes from that last slither of sun that's coming through. Then a risky kick back in the defensive side of the centre square. Finds Burns and Hill, who's run from one side of the ground to the other. Now marks on the broadcast wing. Plays on. Kicks up towards right half forward. Higgins in front of Duggan. Duggan does well to get a fist in. Higgins the first to trap it, though. Then handballs it into the foot of Ryan Marrick. He goes out of bounds. It's out of bounds on the full. Rightfully called. Terrific bit of play by Higgins. It goes into the pocket. It's over the head of Wood. It stays in bounds. Duggan for Walich Marwa. Snapping, tumbling ball to left half back to Marrick, to Reid, who just hits it, don't argue, able to give himself some space to get the handball through to Hunt. Now to Duggan. The Eagles are going up the broadcast wing. Kelly has some space, takes a bounce. Oh, Gross was looking the wrong way. Handball missed him, almost hit him in the back. Ball now in dispute. Tapped by Hunt towards Hewitt. Walich Marwa still have it. Hewitt 60 from home. Handballs laterally to Waterman. Almost run down. Kicks inside the forward 50 and the defensive mark is taken by O'Connell.
And too much on at the kick. The Saints will rebound. I'll go from Wilson out towards Wanganeen Miller under pressure from Baker. Hand pass went awry. Came to Cripps to Baker. Back to Graham. Stabs it short. Oscar Allen marks. Leading out into the right forward pocket. He went from the sunshine into the shade. Marks about 45 metres out. He'll put boot to ball from about 47.
Well, he deserves that. A bit of poetic justice there because he was out when Tim Kelly was streaming through the centre. The handball went awry to Gross, but Allen stayed involved and gets his chance.
And take a bow, Baker, after that defensive effort.
Here comes Oscar Allen looking for what would be his second. It's a tight angle. Boots cross the 50. Kicks on its way. Umpire watches it cannon in to the left-hand goal post. Minor score. 8-7-55 the Eagles. The Saints are 4-4-28. We've gone 8 and a bit minutes into the third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport, ABC Radio, Sport Digital, streaming on the ABC Listen app. Clint Wilton alongside this man, Mitch Turner, in commentary.
Slick back mullet and mo for Jack Sinclair, as we've come to expect. Takes the kick out of the Saints. Bit casual on the far side. Webster received the short kick. Wasn't 15. It wasn't privy as the umpire called play on. Wasn't aware to it. Allen got him. Man on the mark stands on the paint of 50 at right half forward. Allen decides to set it up, looking for a target. Waterman flies high, can't mark. Hewitt taps it. Cross through traffic, spills it. In there also is Brockman. The Saints are under pressure, under siege. The heroic defence. In the end, it'll be a ball up. 20 metres out, directly in front of Wallich Marawa's goal.
They're looking hungry. Wallich Marawa at the moment. Really good trend.
Concern over who the Eagles' ruck will be. It'll have to be Oscar Allen. Marshall on a down kick straight into traffic, and then it's hacked away. And then it was McRae who got the soccer off the ground. He got bumped over by Reid after he did so. It went to a pack, still inside the Saints' defensive 50, and the umpire said, we'll come in and I'll sort this out with another ball up. Flynn arrives on the scene against Marshall. Flynn won it down, going back for the Eagles. Hewitt broke the tackle of Wanganeen Miller, spilled out the side to Wilson. Baker got him. Defensive work has been outstanding today, Liam Baker.
Ruben Jimby established as almost like a quarterback safety, if you like. 50 metres away from this contest.
Flynn slapping it forward. It comes down to Ryan for the Eagles. He snaps at goal and misses from 45 out. Deep in the right forward pocket. He decided he'd have a ping, but a minor score. 8-8-56 to 4-4-28. The Eagles lead the Saints. 11 gone in the third. 28 points the advantage. The biggest margin of the game so far.
Webster's kick out long to the wing. Turned over. Gross's handball was straight to Sinclair. Heroic have it back. Steele to Wilkie. Now Wilson's short kick hugs the boundary line and finds Windhager, who takes it at the bootlaces. Chips over the top, looking for a marking target in Filippo, and had Duggan for company. He's been solid back there today, the co-captain for Wallich Marawa.
Just love what Wallich Marawa are doing in guarding and protecting corridor. Euroka trying to go there, but there's just been no room or ability.
Ball once again tossed back in. Flynn trying to reach over the tap of Marshall, coming through Sinclair for the Saints. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Sharman v Edwards 1v1. Coming through his Collard. Edwards did well. Stood up under pressure. Somehow got it to Jimby. Now to Cole. Little lateral handball to Hoff. To Duggan. Left half back. Able to steady and kick up the wing. Bailey Williams opposed to Rowan Marshall. Can't take the mark and is happy to see the ball out of bounds. Maybe cleverly disguised in the end. His intentions, and they'll get to reset both sides right on centre wing as the umpire will toss it in, standing between the interchange gates. It's Wallich Marawa by 28.
Bailey Williams got in front of Owens and to tap it back towards the boundary line. Hewitt got shoved over by Owens, and then the ball does tumble across the Eagles interchange gates for a throw-in.
Williams opposed to Machido Owens here, so ascendancy should be with Wallich Marawa.
Sinclair's got 24 touches, Hoff 18, the two leading disposal winners for both teams. Here's Owens at the back, hacked forward though by Garcia. Kicks the Saints in the direction of right half forward. Still there to be won, going up to try to gather Charlton. He's tackled immediately, wrapping him up was Graham. Ball up, just shy of right half forward for the Saints. Who could do with a goal. Jay Williams wins it down. Comes out the side, Hunt over Rennett. Garcia picks it up. hurriedly threw it on the boot. Went inside forward 50. Jimmy knocked it down. Umpire spotted a free kick. Jimmy was being held in that contest by Higgins, and he'll get the free kick. He gets told to move on. Looks to go short and finds Hoff, despite the pressure coming from McRae, and Hoff marks for the Eagles at left half back. West Coast still leading by 28 points, 13 and a bit gone in the third term. This is Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Hoff up to the wing, looking for Waterman, who can't mark. Comes down to Webster for Yoroke to Wilkie. Sinclair, and now handball through to McLennan. Looking to find a target. They turn it over the Saints. Cole steals it. Handball secured. 55 from home as Oscar Allen in the square room marks. Oh, turnover football. It'll punish you. And Oscar Allen should be an absolute certainty to put this through for his second goal.
Well, the turnover was just off the back of pressure and then having nowhere for Yoroke to kick forward to. Trying to overpossess the ball creates the turnover. They're devoid of options at the moment.
It has been a tough year for the co-captain Oscar Allen. He'd dearly love a double in front of the home crowd. That's exactly what he does. Kicks it through. It's a nice round of applause. Allen has two. More importantly, Wellich Marawa are continuing to extend their lead. They are 9-8-62. Yoroke a 4-4-28. It's a 34-point margin the way of the home side, and they can sniff a first victory.
That was an opportunity, I think, for Yoroke to have more confidence in their one-on-ones ahead of the ball and just kick it to space and allow their forwards to do their work and get to contest, create contest and bring the ball to ground.
Comes back to that point also around how well Wellich Marawa are protecting corridor. There was just nowhere for Yoroke to go, and in the end, a panic handball from McLennan. Goal, Oscar Allen.
Ross Lyon slamming the phone down in the coach's box in frustration from the turnover. Williams wins the restart. Came out though to McRae. Beautifully gathered and then bouncing it, Wanganeen Millera. Gets a hand pass towards centre half forward. Sweeping it forward, Philippou to Windhager. Goes a second time to gather. He'll put it on the left boot. Snapping towards goal. Doesn't have the carry. Marek back there. Makes sure of it. So Hutchison had two to do with there in Hill and Wanganeen Millera. So there is a minor score on the board. 9-8-62 the Eagles, 4-5-29 the Saints. 15 and a half gone in this third term.
Floater from Duggan up the wing. Wilkie gathers Yoroke. Handball inside finds Hill. Along the boundary line. Kicks up towards half forward. A mark taken by Baker. And a late contact from Windhager is fair enough. Or was it Philippou? One of the Saints forwards got him, and Baker will be marched at the broadcast side. That's a player short. Quickly takes it. His former Richmond teammate in Graham. All the numbers. Yoroke starting to flood back in the Eagles forward line. Graham just wants to bomb it long. Kicks it into the pocket. Who can take a mark? No one at the back. Harley Reid gathers up the bounce, snaps and can't bend it around enough. Almost a third goal for Harley Reid. Instead it misses to the left. 9-9-63 Wellich Marawa. 4-5-29 Yoroke. 16 and a half minutes played, third term, Sunday footy, ABC Sport.
Oh, Cavadini under pressure from Brockman. Ball spilled out the side. Allen tries to gather. Couldn't do much with it. It came to McRae, then to Byrne for the Saints. Moves it short beyond defensive 50. St Kilda under real pressure. Windhager took the mark. Goes to McRae, forced to move it on again. Misses his target in Burns. Hoff was there to gather. Pops it over the top to Cole. Steps inside Wood. Cole is 70 out from goal. Puts it into the right forward pocket. Wanted Bailey J. Williams, couldn't mark. Spilled to ground. Trying to get a hand pass out was Hunt. Picked up by Wilkie. Umpire says...
Got to be holding the ball when
it's
you
a holding the ball
like
call.
that.
I think he did a 720.
They've unravelled a bit here, Yoroke.
Just not standing up to the pressure that Wellich Marawa are putting on them, are they?
That's Hunt with the 720. Not 720 ABC Perth, but 720 nonetheless. Free kick to the Saints. They've got it deep in the left back pocket. It'll come from McLennan. He'll kick towards left half back. Good mark. Up there was Marek again. He's got it too far out to score himself. Probably 80 from goal at right half forward for the Eagles.
Marek wants to come a little more inboard. Lowers the eyes and spears it to Hewitt. Dropped an uncontested mark in the end. The kick was a ripper from Marek. Now ball in congestion in the Eagles forward line as a number of players dive in. Elijah Hewitt, for all the talent, he'd love to have that moment back.
Well, all the momentum they need to cash in now.
Correct.
Absolutely imperative.
They are marching themselves towards a win. Alex Marawa from the restart. McRae gathers the loose ball, kicks it outside defensive 50. Off hands, falls to Hoff. Handballs to Hunt. Lines it up from 50. Long kick towards the goal face. Big pack flies. No one can take the mark. Off hands across the behind line. 9-10-64. Wallich Marawa. 4-5-29. Euro 18.5 played in the third term here at Perth Stadium.
Saints will bring it beyond defensive 50. Long kick from Wilkie. Works its way to Windhager. He sends it in the direction of Higgins. He can run onto the bouncing football. Got there. Clever hand pass over the top. Made its way onto Sharman. Sharman kicks towards full forward in the goal square. Has the mark been paid? It has. And it will come back to the Saints to Wilson. And he should be able to throw this over from the top of the goal square. They move that quickly, coast to coast, the Saints. And they'll be looking to kick their first goal since the 28-minute mark of the second term.
Didn't have a chance to say it, but that was the next bit, was going to be you cannot afford to get so aggressive with that momentum that you leave yourself exposed from a team defence perspective, which they've done so well today. But Euro unstoppable then once they...
Darcy Wilson kicked an absolute beauty earlier in this game. This is as easy as you like. And he pops it through for his second and the Saints' fifth. 5-5-35 Euro. Wallich Marawa 9-10-64. The Eagles' lead is cut to 29 points. As we're about 20 seconds away from time on in the third. Our experts Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell on ABC Sport.
Well, it currently looks like he's been playing down at the Yo-Yo Oak the old ground. Where is that?
He's wearing half the turf, Moorabbin.
Moorabbin,
He's wearing half the Perth Stadium turf.
But the transition, it was as hard as it is to say, Baker lured them into trying to take a kick and over-committed on a press, which just enabled them to get out the back.
Just the first mistake I reckon he's made today, Liam Baker. He's been excellent.
And he nearly impacted it, and you could see what he was trying to do, but just I don't mind them playing with that edge.
Ball bounced in the centre. Both Marshall and Flynn get a hand to it. Garcia for the Saints. His kick, going to take it forward. It was off the side of the boot, rolling out towards the southern wing. It goes out of bounds. Boundary throw-in. There was a few little jeers coming from the Eagles fans looking for a free kick, but that was, I can promise you, not intentional at all. That was a genuine skill error from young Garcia on this occasion. Stands near this contest next to Harley Reid as the ball taps down. Hewitt tackled by Garcia now, and they'll ball it up again.
Seen Toby Travalia starting to do some warm-ups downstairs for the Saints. The Eagles, of course, have already activated their sub. Tom Gross coming on from Matt Owies with a calf injury.
Tackle is laid in the meantime on Brockman from the restarts, holding the ball. And Jack Steele is the recipient, wants to move it quickly. Kick inside the forward 50, flying in the back. Harry Edwards misses it. Collard, can he keep it in? No. Free kick has been given in the marking contest anyway. And none of the Eagles know who it is.
Or is it Jinby?
None of them are really sure. I think it is going to Jinby.
It's not a good sign sometimes when no one knows. Downstairs, a cash voted are.
Yeah, Toby Travaglia has been subbed into the game. It's Angus McLennan who's moved to the back of the bench. It's a tactical sub from Euro.
Might have been because of that handball turnover a little while back.
Kick is long towards right half back. Here's Wilkie emerging with it for the Saints. Puts it back inside forward 50. That's a beautiful kick. Took a juggled mark from Higgins, but he was able to complete the grab. Wheels around onto his right. Plays on from about 35 metres out and puts it through for another one for the Saints. Back-to-back majors for St Kilda. Euro 6-5-41. The Eagles are 9-10-64. 22 gone in the third. Higgins has got two himself, and the Eagles' lead is cut to 23 points at the 22-minute mark of the third.
Credit to Euro and the dangerous Higgins. They've kicked the last two after everything looked blue and gold.
They can't let this slip, can they? Wallich Marawa, they are so close.
This is where you need your leaders, don't you?
Yes, and I was about to say, I mentioned the maturity that they were playing with in the first half, and obviously continue that on for the majority of the third quarter. But now, when they're being pressed, is when they need to have their leaders stand up.
They got their most exciting combination in the middle. Liam Ryan, Elijah Hewitt, Harley Reid there for Wallich Marawa. Flynn in the ruck against Marshall. Comes down to Liam Ryan. Shakes the tackle of Garcia. Now steadies himself.
Oh, the barrel.
Goes the barrel inside the forward 50. Can he find a target? No mark taken. Comes down there to Cripps. To Brady Hoff. Snaps on goal. Looking for his first career goal. Will it bounce through? He's finally done it. Brady Hoff in game 63 has found his first goal at AFL level, and they come from absolutely everywhere and mob the young Eagle. A snap around his body. It bounced through. And they're finally returning to position. Wellich Marua as the Eagles find another, and Brady Hoff celebrates. What a moment for him. 10-10-70 the Eagles, 6-5-41 the Saints, 29-point margin. 23.5 gone in the third term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
Oh, you'd love to see that. You'd love to see the emotion and the, I suppose, energy that provides. Game 60, first goal was a great goal as well, but the call was made. The personnel in the middle, and they got the clearance straight away.
That was fantastic to watch. Huge celebration for West Coast. Eagles fans thrilled as well as the Eagles players. From the middle, Saints will take it away. They burst through the centre. Sinclair gets a kick inside forward 50. Bouncing onto it, though, is Jinby. He thumps it up the middle. It's a long, raking kick. Reid just dispenses with Webster illegally. Threw him to ground. Webster will get the free kick. Moves it to the southern wing. To Wanganeen Miller. On in turn to Sinclair. Mark's just shy of the attacking point of the centre square at left half forward. Big fly at full forward. No mark taken. He went leaping Collard. Spills out the back. Here's Duggan. Clearing kick beyond defence at 50. And that's well done by Cripps. Knew he had someone right on his hammer in the form of O'Connell, and so was able to cleverly ricochet. I've tried to get this. I've just missed it over the boundary line for a throw in. And that means they can set themselves up again here, the West Coast Eagles.
Ball spun back in. Marshall to the front. Taps it down towards Sinclair, who just whacks it forward towards the forward 50. Well done by Baker, though, for the Eagles. Got it across to Bailey Williams, who kicks a banana up the wing. Oh, Waterman's hit the ground hard. So too is Cripps. They are sore as Wilkie keeps the ball in. Spearing kick to the logo on the broadcast wing. Windhager takes the mark. Cripps is still down. Blowout commentary position. Travalia onto the ground as the sub. Takes the mark. Handball to Wanganeen Miller. Now to Collard. Southern side of the ground. Little handball to Wilson. His handball back to Collard. Missed the target. Put him under pressure. Cole got him. Loses the ball. Now the Eagles players come to support. It'll be a ball up on the southern side. The boozering out. He was lucky, Lance Collard. But it will be a ball up out there. No harm, no foul.
Flint, more interested in his opponent than anyone else, and he's given away the free. Oh, no, it's gone the other way to Marshall. Marshall deemed to be holding Flynn. Flynn's decided to play on by hand for the Eagles at right half back to Marrick, who ran behind him and gets a kick away. Down the southern side of the ground, and back there Owens takes the mark. Will come across half back for the Saints. Hill marks, plays on by hand. This is Travalia. He'll kick towards right half forward. Stretching was Brock, but outpointed by Owens, and he takes the mark for the Saints. He's about 80 from goal. Travalia runs by, receives the hand pass, pops it into the right forward pocket. Cleverly worked, and Collard going down onto one knee takes the mark. 45 out from goal. Probably 5 metres in from the boundary line.
Toby Travaglia, fresh player on the ground, and provided some energy and bounce. Local player Collard, this is a vital shot for Euroke to give them a glimmer of hope. He needs to produce something here.
A 20-year-old came up through the West Coast Eagles Academy, picked up by the Saints. The number 4 on his back. Long kick towards goal. He's missing everything to the right-hand side. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Eagles at left full back. West Coast at 10-10-70. St Kilda 6-5. Euroke 6-5-41. The Eagles lead is 29 points. 28 gone in the third.
Oscar Allen down back. He's taking the free kick. He takes a nice little bounce. Wouldn't have had too many of those in his time as he kicks up the wing. Big pack. Marshall couldn't take the mark. Spills out to Hill. Euroke have it. Looping handball inside to Wanganeen Miller. Under pressure from Kelly. Thought about kicking it. Almost dropped it completely. In the end, gives it to Burns. A late bump from Cripps. It was there. As he kicked up towards McRae, will result in a downfield free kick. It's just a touch late. McRae gathers. Kicks inside the forward 50. Big spoil from Gross. The Saints still have it though. Comes out to Marshall. Kicks under pressure. It goes off the side of the boot. Out of bounds on the full. Terrific pressure from the Eagles as Brady Hoff goes and lets Rowan Marshall know about it. He feels good after his first goal. Does Hoff. He's up and about. And Allen again will take the free kick. He goes up the wing. Big pack. Wanganeen Miller can't take the mark. It spills to Steele. He's dispossessed. Ball tucked against the boundary line. Gross did well to win it. Gave it to Graham. Kick up the wing now. Almost taken by Cripps. And the Saints dive back in.
Well, you got it out to Sinclair. Came down to Hill, forward of the logo. Commentary wing. Kick inside forward 50. Allen brought it to ground for the Eagles. It spilled out to Woody. Snaps on goal from about 25 out. He misses right. A minor score. 6-6-42 the Saints. 10-10-70 the Eagles. 28 gone in the third. Matthias Philippou has just come off the ground. I think he might have a dislocated finger the way he was holding one of his hands as he walked off the ground. He's in the hands of the doctors as we speak, as the Eagles bring the ball back into play through Baker.
Great kick. And they just need to regain some composure, own the footy for the last 90 seconds of this quarter, Woolwich Marilla, and go into three-quarter time with a nice lead.
Flynn takes them up. Kicks now up the wing. Wilkie went over the top of his head. Spilt down towards Harley Reid. Taps it to Liam Ryan. Under pressure. Handballs to himself. Can he gather again? He can. Handball over the top to Tom Gross. The young man snaps on goal and he can't bend it around. It's out of bounds on the full. He would have loved that.
He had Jaden Hunt clear, and in the context of the game, and he'll learn that, in the context of the game, Hunt can mark that, take 30 seconds off the clock and have a shot at goal under no pressure. Easy from here, but that's a young player who will learn that in time.
Wilson short to O'Connell, who's still standing in the defensive goal square. Goes out towards the left back pocket to Sinclair. Pops one over the top and beyond defensive 50. They're looking to build again here, the Saints, slowly. To Windhager. Goes down the southern wing. Big pack up. Wood was involved. Good tackle came from Marek. Wrapped up his opponent and took him to ground. Caminiti was the Saint involved. Ball up the call from the umpire. Philippou's still got a bit of a problem with the left hand. Some shot of him on the big screen here at Perth Stadium. Flynn punches it forward. Reid went up for the Eagles, had it knocked out at his grasp, bounced off Flynn's knee, emerging with it Steele, burst his way through. Got it to McRae for the Saints. Kicks Euroke towards left half forward. No mark taken. Spills down off the pack to Hunt. Met immediately by Hall. Got a hand pass out to Allen though. Allen for the Eagles. Kicks around the body, but there's only Saints on the logo. Centre wing Marshall's one of them, and he takes the mark. And that'll do us for three-quarter time. And the Eagles, with a quarter to come, hold a 28-point advantage. And for the first time in 2025, West Coast have won a third term. The Eagles 10-10-70. The Saints 6-6-42. Before we run through the goal kickers, Akash Vodadar downstairs. Akash?
Just a couple of things to keep an eye on. Messiah Wanganeen Miller limped to the bench just before three-quarter time, was having a fair bit of work done, so it'll be interesting to see how he goes in the final term. And just as West Coast head towards their huddle, the doctor's spending a lot of time there with Jake Waterman. And as you mentioned, Clint, Matthias Philippou had that finger put back in. It looked extremely painful, but he seems good to go for the final quarter.
It did look very, very painful for him as well. Waterman hit the ground very heavily in a marking contest that did appear to hurt Jamie Cripps as well. He was in the hands of the trainers for some time, but the Eagles have already made their sub-2. Tom Gross coming in for Matt Owies, and Euroke have made their sub as well. Travalia is on the ground. Of course, they've subbed out McLennan. Tactical, we heard from Akash Vodadar downstairs. Goal kickers look like this. 2 to Harley Reid, 2 to Oscar Allen for the Eagles, and singles to Bailey J. Williams, to Flynn, to Hoff, his first ever in AFL football, to Cripps, to Hunt and to Waterman. While for Uroke, there's 6 goals, 2 to Higgins, 2 to Wilson and 2 to Wood. 3-quarter time. The Eagles 10-10-70 to the Saints 6-6-42. Wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, on ABC Sport Digital and on the AFL button on the ABC Listen app. This is Sunday Footy on ABC Sport.
God-tier comedy is on ABC iView. Good God. Unbelievable. More checklists, optics, breeders, big boys, double park, and so many more. Always free, always hilarious on ABC iView. This is the Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio, Sport Digital and the ABC Listen app.
Very high ball to the top of the goal square. Waterman flew. It was Reed in front. It came down to Allen, who kicks it towards Bailey Williams. Taps it out of the air, onto his boot, through the goals. A creative goal to get the second half underway. Williams couldn't take the mark. It was only a short kick. It didn't go that far at all. Williams out of the air while wrestling the defender, tapped it onto his boot. Not quite Daniel Wells at Subiaco, but it was a nice bit of work out of the air. Sinclair, and now handball through to McLennan. Looking to find a target. They turn it over the Saints. Cole steals it. Handball secured. 55 from home as Oscar Allen in the square and marks. Oh, turnover football. It'll punish you, and Oscar Allen should be an absolute certainty to put this through. It has been a tough year for the co-captain, Oscar Allen. You dearly love a double in front of the home crowd. That's exactly what he does. Kicks it through. It's a nice round of applause. Allen has 2.
Windhager sends it in the direction of Higgins. He can run onto the bouncing football. Got there. Clever hand pass over the top. Made its way onto Sharman. Sharman kicks towards full forward in the goal square. Is the mark being paid? It has. And it will come back to the Saints to Wilson. Darcy Wilson kicked an absolute beauty earlier in this game. This is as easy as you like. And he pops it through for his second.
Liam Ryan shakes the tackle of Garcia. Now steadies himself.
The barrel.
Goes the barrel inside the forward 50. Can he find a target? No mark taken. Comes down there to Cribs. To Brady Hoff. Snaps on goal. Looking for his first career goal. Will it bounce through? He's finally done it. Brady Hoff in game 63 has found his first goal at AFL level. And they come from absolutely everywhere and mob the young Eagle.
The 2025 Sir Doug Nicholls round.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
It could be upset Sunday. North Melbourne beating Richmond by 4 points. The Demons downing the Lions by 11. And the Eagles are in front by 28 points over the Saints in the final game of round 10, the first of the Sir Doug Nicholls rounds. What do we make of it? Walich Marawa against Uroke, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham, thanks to ABC Sport.
Well, Walich Marawa had all the momentum, and then Uroke just took some opportunities and nailed 2 in a row. And the first goal for the career from Brady Hoff came at a vital time, didn't it? Because not only did they stop Uroke's momentum, but it gave Walich Marawa a spark, gave him back some energy. And on a side note, Hoff, to me, oozes leadership.
Yeah.
He really does. There's something about him. I think that his leadership is going to grow and grow and grow, and it wouldn't surprise me if he's eventually a captain of this football club. That's what I see in him. Just how much he feels for the team. Yeah,
cares, doesn't he?
Cares, really cares, and you can just see from the reaction when the players all swarmed him. So it was a timely goal. It's set up here for a Walich Marawa win, and it's been a mature performance. They've only really lost their shape, lost their organisation for brief moments in this match.
I was super impressed with the intensity and the ferocity that the defensive efforts that Walich Marawa showed them. It really had Uroke just on the back foot for the majority of that quarter. And like you said, they were able to be really efficient. They went inside forward 50 once and were able to score that goal. But if Walich Marawa came out in this fourth quarter now and executed the same way they did for the first 20 minutes of that third quarter, they will come away with the victory. But don't ever hold your breath, because we don't know what's going to happen. It's a game of football.
Well, there's that belief factor. After when you go 0-9 or whatever it is, do you have the belief that you've got the game on your terms? Let's see it out. And it's been a strange game in that there's an argument that Uroke have had the 2 best players on the ground in Sinclair and Marshall, but yet such has been the even performance from Walich, which would really make Andrew McQualter really happy to see how even the performance has been, but the job is not done.
You saw bodies for Walich Marawara and Euroke as well.
Just saw the strapping on the calf of the compression band on Matthew Owies as well. Clearances 34-25 the way of the Saints. The contested possession still the way of Euroke 113-107. And just some of the other numbers here quickly. Jack Sinclair, 30 touches, the most on the ground. Wangane Miller and Marshall, 22. Brady Hoff with 22. Duggan and Marrick with 17 apiece.
The Eagles have lost their past 11 games, if you include last year. Can they break through for a victory? As Flynn gets the more telling tap down, it comes out to Hewitt, tackled immediately by Owens. Umpire will ball it up. Just forward to the centre circles for the Saints, though. Flynn again with the telling tap. Trying to knock it forward, straight down the throat of the Saints. Wood kicks inside forward 50. Turning onto it. Philippou should get there first. Threw it on the boot. Misses left. Needed it to curl around the body, but a minor score was all he could manage to the left-hand side. 10-10-70 the Eagles. The Saints with the first score of the final term. 6-7-43. 35 seconds gone in the last.
Marrick, kicking duties as always, goes short to Hoff. Both racking up possessions. Hoff by hand goes back to Marrick running past. Now kicks up towards the wing for the Eagles. Allen in front. Strong mark against Webster. Finding just a little bit of form today is Oscar Allen. Couple of goals for the co-captain. Goes laterally on this occasion. Slightly backwards to Ryan Marrick, who stands just beyond right half back. Short kick up the wing to Baker. So patient ball movement by Walich Marawara here. Baker eventually runs his distance, kicks further up the wing. Reed! Over the top, Harley hanger! And then goes back and helps up Oscar Allen off the deck before he takes his kick.
Never seen that before, I don't reckon.
You felt bad for taking a leap on him.
They're Eagles for the time being. Harley kicks inside the forward 50. No mark taken by any of his teammates. It's Wilkie on the last line of defence who takes it and plays on.
He does so with a hand pass into the right back pocket to Steele. Will send the Saints long towards right half back. Front position. Brock went up and he took the mark. Sandy Brock, though, kicks into the man on the mark. Hill's able to tap it backwards. Hand pass comes for the Saints to McRae in the middle of the ground. A great kick, bounced its way in the direction of Higgins. Jinby met it, though, first. Got a hand pass away despite Wood's attention. Back to Brock, who was coming a long way back. Gave it to Hunt at centre half back, out towards left half back where Hutchison marks. And the Eagles can pause and set up again. He'll move it short, right down the commentary wing to Waterman. He'll steer it back to Duggan, marking just forward of left half back for the Eagles, who are 10-10-70 to the Saints, who are 6-7-43, 2.5 gone in the last.
Disposal, number 18 for the co-captain, goes up towards half forward. Reed flew high, but in the pack, Bailey Williams takes the mark, and it's a free kick going to Rowan Marshall for a shove in the contest. So the Euroke Ruckman will have the free kick at right half back, goes short up to Windhaker, has some space on the southern side, able to play on immediately. Kicks up towards Sharman, can't mark under pressure from Edwards, spills down to Duggan. Now Hutchinson tries to get it back to his co-captain, who's tackled by the Euroke captain and Jack Steele and taken out of bounds. It'll be tossed in about 65, 70 metres around from St Kilda's attacking goal. Well, Euroke, they trail by 27 points 3 minutes into the final term. Sunday footy on ABC Sport.
That's a cracking mark from Harley Reid, showing a few replays on the big screen here from the restart. It's in towards Sinclair. Gets it for the Saints. Kicks around the body and tracking back. Nice mark, Harry Edwards.
Haven't mentioned it yet. Tim Kelly just 6 disposals in this game to this point.
Edwards deep at left full-back. Kicks back to the southern wing. Big pack up there. McRae got it away. Travalia went back by hand to Hill. Now to Wilkie. Measures the kick and stretching for it. Not able to get there first time, Windhager. Coming the other way was Kelly. Mopped up by Wood for the Saints. Hand pass went back to Wilson. By hand to Byrne. Just forward of the logo. Northern wing. Kicked inside forward 50. Two Saints almost stole it out of each other's hands. Higgins was one of them. Went to ground. Ball's been locked in. Umpire will ball it up. Still the Eagles lead. 4 gone in the last by 27 points over the Saints. West Coast looking for their first win in 2025.
Need to start moving soon. The visiting side, Owens, took it from the restart. Thought he was taken high. Umpire said play on. Came to Reed. Handball over the top to Cripps. The Eagles go forward. 2 bounces. Now kicks. Looking for Waterman long. Can he settle and mark? No. Wilkie gets there. Spills to ground level. They're still under pressure, the Saints. Kamenides tackled. He's dispossessed. Spills to Webster. Able to clear the danger for the time being. McRae, clever little tap. Got it down to Owens. Now Uroka out. Short kick by Sharman. Finds Filippo. Sees something he likes in the middle of the 50. And guess who getting out the back? Jack Higgins. He's quick to go when they win the ball. They'll have the set shot about 40 metres out. Slight angle to the right.
That's just knowledge from one player to the other about role and where your teammate is going to be.
Jack Higgins already has 2 goals for the afternoon. They need this one. They get it. Higgins puts it through for his 3rd. He's kicked 26 goals this season. His best season to date on the cards for him. 7-7-49 Uroke. 10-10-70 Wallich Marawa. So margin back to 21. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wheeldon and Cash Foden and our experts, Sharad Wellingham, Peter Bell.
Yeah, really another transition all the way from defensive 50 into forward 50. But it wasn't an overcommit once again at the contest, but just not well enough balanced that when Uroke were able to win the ball, as we've said, Jack Higgins recognises where the space is very quickly.
Yeah, just no goal side mitigation at this crucial contest on centre wing, and it was Mitch Owens who got the release handball.
Flynn up against Marshall. They crashed into each other, and that'll be a free kick to the Saints. Marshall went to ground, taking the advantage quickly. Sinclair kicks them long towards full forward. Flying Collard went through his fingertips. Brock was at the back. Tried to get a hand pass away. Marek gathered, got tackled by Hill, taken to ground. No Pryor, ball up. Just inside forward 50 for the Saints. In the left forward pocket. One down here by Marshall. Uroke numbers around it. Then McRae couldn't gather before it goes across the boundary line for a throw-in. So still about 55 out from the Saints attacking goal. They're heading to the left of our broadcast position, the Farm Freeway end of Perth Stadium in his final term. They trail by 21. And umpire unfurls. Marshall front position, knocked it up into the air, spilled in the direction of Brockman, had it ripped away from him. McRae gets a kick towards full forward for the Saints. Off hands, a chance here, gathered, snapping, goal! Nicely played, Cooper Sharman, and the Saints are coming. Nervous times for the Eagles and their supporters. 7.5 minutes gone in the final term. West Coast 10-10-70. St Kilda moved to be within 15 points, 8-7-55.
It was a really clever kick from Jack McRae out of congestion, got a great angle on it to a dangerous spot. Edwards committed. Sharman initially fumbled but was good enough to recover, got it on his left boot to get Uroke within 15. Game on.
The Cash Foden downstairs.
Yeah, both Sandy Brock and Harry Edwards are pretty sore from that collision. The physio was out with them for a while. They both seem okay. But the doctor also went out to Jake Waterman. Seems to have an issue with his right hand. The doctor's now left the field.
Eagles fans trying to lift their side. Ball back in the middle through traffic. Beautifully done by Brockman. Found space. Lovely kick out in the path of Kelly. 55 from home. Spears it inside 50 for Allen. That is perfect football from Wallich Marawa. Possibly the play of the season for them with how clean that was.
Hasn't had a big day, but excellent inside 50 kick from Tim Kelly. And how clean was Tyler Brockman? Centre bounce, clean as a whistle. That's exciting.
That was definitely one of the most exciting passages of play that we have seen this year.
Oscar Allen, tight angle, forward pocket, only about 30 metres out. Has 2 goals, hasn't kicked 3 in a game this season. The co-captain to wrestle back some momentum for his side. He pulls it across the face to the left.
Stabbed at that one a little bit. Not his usual big follow-through with his kick.
10-11-71 Wallich Marawa. 8-7-55 Uroke.
We can sense Uroke really trying to keep pace on the ball.
Oh, that's dangerous. Wanganeen Miller under pressure, turns it over, kick to Duggan, sends it back towards full forward for the Eagles. Gross flew, couldn't mark. Kelly was there! Not quite. It's hit the left-hand post. He threw it on the boot from the top of the goal square, ran it along the ground, couldn't find a way between the big sticks. Minor score, 10-12, plays 8-7-9 gone in the fourth.
Kick long out to the wings, off hands, out of bounds. Gross might have been a little unlucky.
Gross had his head taken off in that contest.
Haven't seen a replay yet. Have you seen one, Sharon?
I haven't as yet, but
it looked like he was taken high, yeah.
Yeah, it really did, and Kelly couldn't finish off. Got away with one, maybe. You're right. They're still in the contest. Ball spun back in over the back. Brad Hill, there's a free kick coming back towards the ruck contest, and it's going to Marshall.
It's been huge, hasn't he, Marshall?
It's a massive game.
Disposal 24.
28 hit-outs, 8 marks as well.
Yeah, 15 contested possessions, 5 tackles.
There's about 6 rucks in the AFL that any of them on their day you could say they're the best ruck in the comp, and Rowan Marshall's one of them. Saints move it forward. Sharman chips towards half forward. Wood, who's been a little quiet since his 2 goals in the first term. He takes the mark. Shocking kick. Looking for Miller at centre half forward. It's chopped off straight to Liam Ryan, who brings out the broadcast side. Right half back to Waterman, who goes further up the wing to Hutchinson.
The margin remains 17 points in favour of the Eagles.
When they do get those turnovers here, Walich Marawa needs to make sure they don't get sucked into going fast again.
Hutchinson will kick towards right half forward for the Eagles and floating across the back. Beautifully timed mark to Flynn. He should just be able to pop this over the top to Graham, who continued the run, and he marks 45 out from goal, 45-degree angle to the right. Goal here would be huge for the Eagles.
Another high-effort day from Jack Graham. 8 tackles. He's just been very reliable for pressure and tackles through the AFL. I think he's number 2 in both, Sharad.
What a moment to kick his first goal as a West Coast Eagle. Graham, boots cross the 50. It's headed in the right direction. Graham gets his first goal as an Eagle. And it's a goal that pushes Walich Marawa's lead out to 23 points. Kicking truly from 45 out. The Eagles are 11-12-78. The Saints 8-7-55. 12 minutes gone in the final term. A vital goal for those in blue and gold.
And what you can see in the replay now is exactly what I'm absolutely loving from Graham's, I suppose, form and the way he's playing so far. It's intensity, it's work rate, it's reliability. And for him to be able to recognise the moment right there, go back and kick his first goal for Walich Marawa, it's a great effort, but I just love how reliable and that tackling ferocity is so needed at the moment with the young group that they have out there.
Eagles fans can sense victory. Ball back in the middle. Kelly in the guts. Couldn't take possession. McRae could for Yoroke. Kicks inside the forward 50. Marek out. Can't take the mark. Sliding down on his knees. Immediately tackled. Ball up inside the Saints forward 50. No, late whistle.
Non-officiating umpire called a high tackle.
Went against Jack Higgins by the look, and Marek will be the recipient of the free kick. He'll come out beyond defensive 50 on the southern side to Tim Kelly, who played a fair bit forward, but looks like he's well and truly in the middle for the time being. His kick up the wing is a good one. Finds the leading Gross.
He's flat out, isn't he, Gross?
Another player in black boots. Clint Wilden will love that. Gross kicks up the wing. Ryan couldn't take the mark. Caminiti out in the back of the Saints. Little handball to Sinclair. Shook the tackle. Found McRae, who's been lively in this final term. He's kicked over a dangerous one towards Hall. Knocked away from him. Garcia gathers. Handball inboard to Hill. The Saints trying to go through the middle of the ground. Winhager had to go back to Owens. Nice little bit of candy in the end to give himself some space, and he kicks wide.
Ooh.
He's able to find a target. That wide. St Kilda. It ends up with Wood after all of that. Wood kicks inside the forward 50. Big spoil over the top by Harry Edwards, who punches it into the stands. It's deep inside Yoroke's forward 50, but they'll reset. 23-point margin the way of Walich Marawa.
An improved effort today from Harry Edwards, I've thought. Game's not done yet, so you want to finish off, but he's had some nice moments.
Bailey Williams front position. Took it and was brought to ground and tackled, and it's been locked in. The official crowd, 42,868. Again, a massive crowd for a side that hasn't won a game this season. Taking it away, the Saints, and Hall kept going, got tackled. Umpire says we'll ball it up. It was Jinby who got him. Deep in the right forward pocket for the Saints. Flynn won it down, came off hands and went across the boundary line for a throw-in. A couple of those other numbers. Sinclair's had it 34 times for the Saints. Marshall 24. Wanganeen Miller, who's currently injured, 23. Hoffley 23 for the Eagles. Marrick with 21. And Duggan currently on the bench with 20. Thrown back in. Bailey J. Williams wins it down out towards the boundary line. And then it's eventually, I reckon it was off Marrick last touch, but over again for a throw-in.
Still over 10 minutes of playing time here for Europe. They'd be well aware of that, so no panic. Just need good methodology and get some momentum.
The Eagles' lead remains 23 points, 15 gone in the last.
Spun back in, follow the ball, cleared by Murrow. A good mark taken, though, at the 50 by Burns, who has a player over the top in the pocket. All alone is Sinclair. Plays on quickly and spears it to Filippo. Can't take the mark. Spills off his hands. Down to Edwards for the Eagles. Up towards Ryan. Couldn't take the mark either. Southern side of the ground. Burns gets there first. Gets it to Caminiti. Little handball to Brad Hill. What can he do? Normally a good user. On this occasion, it's a good kick. He finds Collard. Has numbers everywhere inside the 50. Chooses the shortest option. Mark taken by Hall. Play on not 15. To Garcia. Into the pocket. Oh, Higgins drops the mark. Now snaps around the body. Needs it to bend back. And the ball listens. Talk to me, Jack. He's kicked 4. And they just won't go away. Euroke. The Saints continue to march. 9-7-61. The visiting side. 11-12-78. The margin 17 points. 16 and a half gone. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Mitch Turner alongside Clint Wheeldon. Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
Something, Sharad?
Well, it's just too loose of checking on one of the most damaging forwards in the game. One of the most damaging forwards in this game in particular, kicking his 4th goal. He was given half of the forward 50 to himself there. And I think that young Jinby may have been on him at some point during the contest and just got caught ball watching, which at this stage of the game is really, really tough.
He's a masterful shaper of the footy, isn't he, Jack Higgins? That was an extraordinarily good kick.
He's moved to second in the Coleman medal race with 27 goals now. Only Ben King has more with 29. Ridiculous considering his size. Marshall won it down straight away. It went to Hewitt. He was tackled immediately. Ball up the call. It's forward edge of the centre circles for the Saints. Marshall won it down again. Went to Baker, though. His hand pass almost chomped off by Sinclair. Wilson picked it up. Got it to Hill. Saints a chance to go forward. Umpire spotted a free kick. It's the Eagles that'll have it here. Hunt has been given the football.
Spotted a sneaky throw from Bradley Hill.
Running away from our broadcast position. Hill, when he did so. So here's Hunt. Long inside forward 50. And going up is Bailey J. And Williams can go back and have a shot for the Eagles from 25 metres out. He'll start almost in line with the left hand behind post. Got one today already. Bailey J. Williams.
Strong mark. Again, just identified the ball drop very early, held his ground, pushed off the Euroke defender. Very important again once for the forward Walich Marawa player here.
This to push the lead out again. Past 3 goals. Bailey J. Williams steers it through. He gets his second. And the Eagles' lead is back to 23 points. Walich Marawa 12-12-84. Euroke 9-7-61. 18 and a bit gone in the final term at Perth Stadium. Clint Wheldon alongside Mitch Turner, our experts. Sunday footy on ABC Sport. Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
It wasn't really a sneaky throw after watching
pass.
that.
It was a rugby pass from Brad Hill.
Rugby pass.
Well, they're very Bears sort of colours in fielder, aren't they?
Do you know what I liked about Jaden Hunt's decision there? Because it put field territory pressure on Euroke. So he had the option to maybe try and bite off a short one through the corridor and, graft their way to the forward 50. But no, he went to a nice long contest and let the forwards do the work and make the mistake that can occur from Euro.
Almost 43,000 here, majority of them wanting Woolwich Marowak to hold on for the 4 points. They get the clearance, coming out wide from Kelly to Brockman, steadies in the pocket, Ryan's all alone and marks. Crowd wants 50, there was contact late. Don't think it was quite late enough from Wilkie. But Liam Ryan will have it in the left forward pocket. You'd imagine he'll take a little bit of time here just to compose himself. He deserves a goal. Hasn't had a massive amount of disposals, but has shown a lot of leadership this season. Liam Ryan. I think the fans all like this. Liam Ryan, it's the Doug Nichols round, snaps around the body and celebrates to the crowd. They're almost home, Woolwich Marowak. It's been a long time, but they're just about there. The margin's out to 29 points, 13-12-90. Euroka 9-7-61. Almost 21 minutes played in the final term. Mitch Turner and Clint Wilden alongside our experts, both premiership players, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell.
I'm not sure what happened at centre bounce there. I imagine a Euroke halfback just went straight into the centre bounce trying to win the game. Woolwich Marowak win it. Tyler Brockman's in so much space. He had 50 metres of space or 30 metres of space and gleefully accepted the ball and a beautiful kick to his mate Liam Ryan.
And you could tell the centre bounce directive from the midfielders was also to be on the move, and it was a really important tackle that Harley Reid laid, which dispossessed Euro.
The restart. Marshall won it against Flynn, but it came down to Hewitt. The Eagles immediately gave it to Graham. Kicks inside forward 50. Waterman couldn't mark. Travalia tried to get a hand pass away. Stolen again here by Ryan. And Ryan runs it along the ground from left full forward for his second. And that'll do it. The Eagles and their fans have been waiting 281 days since their last victory. Their lead is now 35 points at the 22-minute mark. Ryan with a couple. Woolwich Marowak with 14. The Eagles 14-12-96. Euroke 9-7-61. This is ABC Sports coverage of Sunday footy. Our experts, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Oh, that was special. Liam Ryan has just come through that contest and ripped it out of the Euroke players' hands. Spun a half 360, done the 180.
He swiped it, didn't he?
He swiped it
clean.
Have you ever seen the rain was ringing out around Perth Stadium, and it's been a drought for Woolwich Marowak, and they're about to let the dam wall open. They have a strong lead. 35 points. They've had 11 straight losses, 11 games with less than 100 points as well scored. So they're about to break that. On this occasion, though, Euroke go forward through Sinclair. High kick inside the forward 50. Big fist came from the Eagles' defence. Comes to Hill. Tries to snap it round the body. High in the air, Travalia v Hunt. Falls down, Travalia gets the ball out into the path of a teammate. Hall's kick on goal. Dribbled through by the Saints. And the goal was pounced on. Maybe a little lucky. There may have been a throw by Travalia. We'll wait and see the replay.
Well, that was a hostile reception to that goal, wasn't it?
Hall finished it, but well, maybe a handball. It does cut the margin back momentarily to 29. 10-7-67 Euroke. 14-12-96 for Woolwich Marowak.
It was good by Travalia in the contest. I thought that maybe he'd been caught holding the ball, but managed to keep his arms free and keep the ball moving inside the forward 50. For mine, I don't mind that. A lot of the time you might think maybe I'll just try and keep it in tight, but put it out into space in the forward 50.
Good bounce from the umpire in the middle. Marshall took front position, palmed it down. Hewitt read it well, though, for the Eagles. Went tracking back, gathered, gave it to Baker. Hand pass forward to Kelly. Then a hand pass on again to Baker, who continued his run. He puts it in the direction of Waterman. Couldn't mark. Offhand. Spills down at the back. Saints had it through Wanganeen, Miller. Now to Wilkie, then to Webster by hand. Looking to move it to McRae. McRae from centre half back into the middle of the ground to Hill. Hill puts it out forward of the logo. Commentary win to Windhager. had some space to assess the options. Kicks towards full forward, trying to win it down the Saints. It comes to Higgins again. Higgins moves it on to Marshall. He snaps the goal. He's having some sort of day. Marshall with his first. He's been enormous. Might end up on the wrong side of the ledger, but he has been outstanding. 25 disposals and a goal. The Eagles leaders cut to 23 points. 14-12-96. The Saints 11-7-73. 25 gone in the last.
And that is exactly what Euro can do. The ball movement then was just unblemished. It happened in the blink of an eye. And again, Jack Higgins, textbook front and square position, worked so hard to get back to that position after Cooper Sharman offered a marking contest, and the big fella must have worked incredibly hard. Marshall, you called it well. Clint, exceptional performance.
He had one on over the top of the handball as well.
Yeah, he wanted to kick it.
He made sure he kicked it. There was a nervous hush that went around Perth Stadium. It's been followed by a cheer. Back in the middle, Marshall takes it, kicks it inside the forward 50. Baker went back with courage, socket off the ground by McRae, unable to take the mark. They're hitting it with pace as Duggan tapped it to himself, over the top to Ryan on the broadcast swing. He's clear, has a lead short, kicks, can't get it to Cripps, but he follows it up. Ryan, he is working hard. He gathers, goes short, inside the 50 to Hewitt, who marks and just stands for a moment before he goes back to take the set shot, and we have seen him kick them from beyond 50 a couple of times this year.
Very important that he does take his time here, because Euro have definitely got some good momentum.
Should go short to Liam Ryan here. Waste another 30 seconds. He's all by himself. There's no one near him.
Euro can recognise that now.
Elijah Hewitt having a breakout season. Loves a goal. Gets to the 50. Oh, that is pure. That's the nail. That should do it. A little resurgence from Euro. But Hewitt gets his first. The Eagles break the ton for the first time in 11 games. 15-12, 102. Euro 11-7-73. The margin re-established at 29 points. And there's just probably not enough time for the comeback. Sharad Wellingham, Peter Bell, our experts for ABC Sport.
Well, we spoke about how sore Liam Ryan looked after the major break.
Didn't look sore then.
He's managed to pull it together and dust off the cobwebs that were definitely evident after the main break. But yeah, his ability to find space there. And I know Wanganeen Malera was obviously being really proactive because they've got to throw everything out there, but just gave him too much space on the turnover.
First time this season the Eagles have brought up the 100 points. First time in a long time, as Mitch told you, as Flynn tries to take it away from the centre bounce. Has it held to him, locked in, ball up.
Oscar Allen placing himself behind the ball in the defensive 50 now.
Umpire spotted a free kick taken high here. It'll be the Eagles who'll have it through Flynn. Flicked up off the ground with the right boot by Reid. It's Harley Reid, of course. Archer Reid, quite rightly, being given a rest, the youngster, for this game. Flynn takes the kick towards right half forward, only finds Owens. Shido Owens is up and he takes the mark. Goes on a short run inboard, then kicks long back towards centre half forward for the Saints. Pack of four up. Spilled down in the direction of Windhager, tried to tap it back inboard, and then it's met by Hoff, who takes it to ground under pressure. Ball up again, the call. First win of the season. Tantalisingly close for West Coast. From the restart, it came down to Graham. He got gang tackled by Marshall and Steele to ground. Ball up again. Still inside the centre square. Just forward of halfway for St Kilda. Flynn with two goes at it. Eventually drags it out of the air. Kicks towards Ryan, who marks and plays on a wonderful sweeping hand pass. Found Kelly. Kicks to Waterman, who marks inside forward 50. Players streaming forward. Waterman says, no, I'm going for the big sticks. Point straight away at the city end of the ground. That's where I'm headed.
Well, that's another opportunity to take 30 off the clock as well, which is good experience from Waterman.
He wouldn't rule out his chances either. He's got one today, Jake. Last year's leading goal kicker for West Coast. He's third in their best and fairest in 2024. In he comes from 52 out. Gives it an almighty ride. The crowd rises. Waterman raises both hands up into the air. There is no doubt about it now. The Eagles are claiming their first victory for 2025. It's just a matter of time. West Coast, Woolwich Marooa by 35 points at the half an hour mark of the last. 16-12, 108. St Kilda's 11-7-73. 42,860 fans about to go home. The majority of them very, very happy. Our experts on ABC Sport, Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
I just started thinking about Andrew McQualter and the satisfaction that he'd be feeling right now. He would be switched on to the job, but it's been a long, hard road, hasn't it? And he should savour this and really enjoy it with his coaching team and his players.
Well, he made his debut 20 years ago this week for St Kilda against West Coast in the West. He might get his first win as a full-time head coach today in the same fixture. He should get it. He will get it. It's 35 points as the minutes tick down. Ball in the middle. Tapped out into space. And able to take possession as Filippo came to Wanganeen Miller up over the top to McRae, who kicks the ball inside forward 50. Rising mark from Harry Edwards. Stood tall, as he has done for most of the day, and takes the intercept mark for Woolwich Marooa, who kicked back out to the broadcast wing, flying from the side. Hutchinson couldn't mark. Spilled down to Flynn. His handball straight to Wilkie. They turn it over. Uroke through McRae. Short kick to Windhager. Handballs forward. Wanganeen Miller up. Runs to 55. Sees an option in the pocket. Higgins is out. Can't hit him with a kick. Tries to keep it in. Taps it to himself. Now coming in and stopping all attacking play is Hunt, who is tackled by Brad Hill. A sign, though, for the Eagles. Jamie Cripps very sore coming from the ground. No ruck here for Woolwich Marooa. So Marshall just takes it out, kicks it straight up in the air, and Jinby able to come across and punch the ball through over the goal line for a rush behind. 16-12, 108 Woolwich Marooa. Uroke now 11-8-74. 32 minutes played in the final term as Marek takes a couple of bounces and comes out of the defensive goal square.
Oh, the kick missed its target. The Saints will get another opportunity. Wilson, hand pass away to Steele. 51 out from goal. Wheels around, kicks into the right forward pocket. Went over the top of Higgins. Allen keeps it in. Does he? Not quite. Did well enough to disguise it as he went trundling along the boundary line in the left back pocket for the Eagles. It's going to be a throw-in. Right full forward for the Saints. All spun back into play. Marshall palmed it down straight to Hoff. Tackled immediately, wrapped up by Steele. Slung him to ground. Nothing untoward according to the officials. No head hitting the turf. Marshall palmed it down again to Owens. Almost stolen away though by Hoff. Umpire will ball it up once more. Still inside the forward 50 for the Saints.
Rowan Marshall, the highest ranked player on the ground by some margin. He's beaten on this occasion. Flynn for Woolwich Marooa. Kicks it out. Flying high again is Harley Reid. He dropped it on this occasion. Spills out to Wilson of the Saints. To Sinclair, who misses Hill by hand. Turned over to Gross. To Brockman. Now Waterman through the middle of the ground. He's tackled. Drops it, holding the ball. He was a little off balance as he had to spin to take possession, Jake Waterman. Uroka win it back. Wilkie through the middle. Goes short to Sinclair. Disposal 38 for him. Spearing kick inside 50 for Jack Higgins, who will go back and have a chance for his fifth goal. No, he won't. He'll play on. He'll snap from 45. He's got one for the thumb. Higgins has 5 goals. He doesn't do anything conventionally. He played on instead of taking the set shot directly in front. He snapped under pressure. It just carried the defender. And it cuts the margin to 28 points. 12-8-80. Uroka, 16-12, 108 Woolwich Marooa. Touch under 43,000 in the house. As the seconds tick down, the Eagles will celebrate very, very soon. The screen says make some noise. I don't think you need to tell them to make any noise.
It's an equal career best, by the way. 5 goals for Jack Higgins. Now with 28 for the season. He sits in second spot right now in the Coleman medal hunt behind Ben King. 29 from the restart. Marshall won it down. It came to McRae. Got a hand pass out the side. He's been locked in. Ball up the call. It's been a weekend of high emotion for the Eagles. The tragic passing of their premiership player, Adam Selwood. Today, the sort of performance that Selwood made his trademark. Courageous, contested. And Andrew McQualter has his first win as Eagles coach. And he's done it against his old mentor in Ross Lyon. West Coast with their first win of 2025. They've beaten the Saints by 28 points.
The West Coast Eagles, and we're here to show you why. We're the big birds, kings of the big game. We're the Eagles, we're flying high. We're the Eagles, the West Coast Eagles, and we're here to show you why. We're the big birds, kings of the big game. We're the Eagles, we're flying high. We're flying high. Yeah, we're flying. We're the Eagles. We're flying high. We're the Eagles, the West Coast Eagles, and we're here to show you why. We're the big birds, kings of the big game. We're the Eagles, we're flying high. We're the Eagles, the West Coast Eagles, and we're here to show you why. We're the big birds, kings of the big game. We're the Eagles, we're flying high. We're the Eagles, we're flying high.
They made the decision to go back to the premiership winning club song at the start of the year. That is the first time that Eagles fans have heard it. West Coast, Woolwich Maroowa, 16-12, 108. To Euroke, the Saints, 12-8-80. So from a weekend of such high emotion, such sadness, some joy for those in WA football, particularly for those in blue and gold. The goal kickers today for Woolwich Maroowa, 2 to Bailey J. Williams, 2 to Oscar Allen, 2 to Harley Reid, 2 to Jake Waterman. Singles to Hunt, Hewitt, Cripps, Graham, Hoff and Flynn. For Euroke, the Saints, Jack Higgins kicked a career equaling best of 5 goals. Darcy Wilson with a couple, Mason Wood with 2 as well. And singles to Rowan Marshall, to Max Hall and Cooper Sharman. The Eagles led all the way by 12 points at quarter time, 19 at the half, 28 at three-quarter time. And that's the margin in the end they won by. The Eagles by 28 points, and they've got a win. Their first in 281 days since August the 10th last year when they were victorious in Bellerive, that round 23 game against North Melbourne. That seems a long, long time ago. And plenty of smiles from the Eagles fans and players. It's taken some time. Their first 4 points are in the bank for this season. What did you make of things? Our experts, Sharad Wellingham and Peter Bell, here on ABC Sport.
Super impressive. I think that it was... I just keep going back to, it seemed like a really mature team. It was a very even contribution, everybody playing their role, no one going outside of, Shannon Hearn always used to say to swim between the flags, and I felt like that was exactly what the team did tonight or this afternoon. They each played a role and executed it very, very well. It didn't feel like the game was ever out of their control, and like we just said between ourselves off air, it was such an even contribution from the whole Walich Marawa side.
It was. I think those two were mature and even. That's the takeaways for Andrew McQualter, and that would give him great satisfaction, him and his coaching staff. The standout performers, and we'll get to best players later, were actually on Euroke's side.
Yep.
But so even, Walich Marawa, even down to the players who didn't win a lot of footy. Gross came on and did his bit when he was subbed in. Edwards had his moments. Brock had his moments.
Edwards was great back there, wasn't he? He took a number of marks. So you look at his stats and you go, yeah, he's only had the 10 touch, but I thought his impact in that back line was immense.
Yeah, Tim Kelly, when I mentioned he was 6 disposals at some stage in the last quarter, he's finished off pretty well. It's a down game and he's going through a patch of form, Tim, but he hits Oscar Allen with that beautiful inside 50. So, he took his moments when they presented. The big story, I think, also is Oscar Allen with a return to form. He was influential at both ends of in the forward line this afternoon. But a really even performance, and it'll be a win that will be savoured by Andrew McQualter. He won't forget this anytime soon, and he would have been so impressed with the evenness both of the contribution but the way that they played. They've kicked a big score, 108. They've defended really well, particularly in the first half, but if you're playing that turnover sort of game against an opposition like St Kilda, who are dangerous and they've got a match-winning small forward in Jack Higgins, you're going to concede some scores. But I thought they were pretty organised, particularly when it counted in that first half. Really set up well.
Do you know whose game I'm really impressed with, which is hard to kind of come to grips with when you look at who his opponent was today, but I thought that Matty Flynn did an enormous job for Walich Marawa today.
Marshall was off the charts, but Flynn competed really hard, and if he can do that, the mix with Bailey Williams forward, who kicks a couple of goals and sets up one or two others, looks really dangerous as that really hard to find forward ruck player.
As a backup ruck, he is so good.
The backup ruck who can come in and compete against your players like Machido Owens, who are the sort of the makeshift relief ruckmans, if you like, and you can get real ascendancy out of that. But that's on Matt Flynn. Grab that number one ruck role and just compete. You're going to come up against real quality like he did today against Rowan Marshall and got shaded, but he had his moments as well.
And that's all you can kind of expect, or not expect, but it's all you can hope for from somebody who has come into the side from another club and has a lot of experience. You just want them to be able to go out there and perform to a standard. You don't have to be the best on ground, but it's just consistent performance from Matty Flynn.
There's a standing ovation from the Eagles fans that have stuck around, and plenty of them have, as West Coast make their way down into the rooms. Just their 11th win in their past 78 games.
There's going to be a lot of people in the middle of the circle today.
A lot of them.
Jeez, what about West Australian football? Just flying at the moment? Well, for the statistician boffins out there, when was the last time in a weekend when West Coast and Freo both got the chocolates? But all the story is about West Coast today, obviously. And it's been building for a while, Clint, hasn't it? Their form has been building.
Certainly has, Peter. Let's head downstairs. Akash Bodadar is in a very happy West Coast Walich Marawa rooms. Akash?
Yeah, I think that's an understatement, Clint. There was an absolute massive roar as they came down into the rooms. They've all been very, very happy down here. Andrew McQualter with his kids. He's getting a lot of pats on the backs and hugs from various Eagles board members. Pretty much all the players who weren't playing, all the staff, they're all down here. And as you can imagine, there's a big sense of relief as they're all circling up for the song. They're, as you said, trying to work out exactly who gets the Sports Streak shower and how many have to go into the middle of this circle, but it's going to be a big circle, and I imagine it's going to be a song sung very loud, very proud. Quite a few of the players getting some of their kids involved here, and they're just about ready to go. Tom Gross getting some Sports Streak, as is Jack Hutchinson, Matt Flynn, Liam Baker, Jack Graham. They're all in the middle of a big circle, all the staff involved as well. Here they go. much circle involved in that song down here, guys. We should hopefully have a player soon.
That was an entire club circle. They put it up on the big screen up here as well, the Cash. That was all the players, support staff, absolutely everyone involved in the football club, involved in that circle. As I mentioned, the Eagles' first win of the season, but if you go back to the start of 2022, just their 11th win from that point onwards. It's been tough times for West Coast on top of what has already been mentioned a couple of times. Very tough weekend with the tragic passing of Eagles premiership player Adam Selwood, that we all found out about early on Saturday morning. Woolwich Marooa, too good for the Saints. And Peter Bell, let's go back to that point. And we mentioned it beforehand, and I know we mentioned it on Sports Talk over here in the West when we were discussing it yesterday. But the Eagles' form line had actually been pretty good. The 2-point loss to Richmond, which they could have won. They were solid enough against Melbourne. They lost by 50 points to Hawthorn, but that was with the Hawks running away with it pretty late. They should have and could have won against Essendon, went down in a close one there. So the last 4 games, after the terribly disappointing loss to Carlton, where they were just uncompetitive in Adelaide, the Eagles have been thereabouts. And today against St Kilda, they showed that they can take that step when things go their way.
There's always going to be a long, hard road, and this was the formula and the plan that McQualter had laid out. And gradually, bit by bit, this team have been sustaining that plan for longer periods in matches. And today was the culmination of a really even performance where they did it for the majority of their match. St Kilda had their momentum. Opposition are always going to get momentum, particularly with a team that can score and score quickly by the way that they, when they play a certain way and when they give good looks to Jack Higgins and others, Jack Higgins primarily, but playing their forwards up high and then getting goal side. So overall, I just keep coming back to that word of an even performance with, the 23 contributors that you're looking for.
I think that now you kind of glance your eyes over the results prior to this, and like you mentioned, when you actually go even further back, it's 3 bad games that they've probably had this year where they've been absolutely terrible and haven't been able to play at a standard, an AFL standard. But outside of that, they've probably shown a brand of footy that they can develop, and that they've obviously got a bit of faith in what Andrew McQualter's bringing to the table. And I think the fact that it has been a slow build, I think what we said pre-game was this could be the week that they can capitalise on the form that they have produced, and it's been built off contested football. They addressed the clearance problem. They've been able to address things that they picked out, but they've obviously gone and said, we're doing this well, let's continue to put faith in this element of our game. And it's a great feeling right now for the club.
I reckon it's the bloke who appeared on their podcast Coast to Coast this week gave them a bit of good luck in Sharad Wellingham. I'm being facetious. Let's head downstairs into the Eagles' rooms. The Cash voted up.
Thank you, Clint. I've got a very happy Ruben Gidley with me. Ruben, first win of the season. What's the overriding emotion, I guess?
Oh, it's crazy. That's the first time we sung the song in a long time. We didn't just have the boys that played today. We had the whole club, all the staff, all the coaches. So it's just such a massive reward for effort. And for the boys that haven't won in our colours, and for Minnie, it's just massive. So, it really feels like we're kicking the season off from here.
You mentioned Minnie there. How important was it for the guys, and how much of a motivating factor was it to get that first win for your new coach?
Yeah, massive. I think we've shown a lot of signs over the last couple of weeks. We've had a few close games, so we're definitely building, and it was, we were definitely due for a win. So we just put in that 4 quarters, a couple outstanding performances from the mids and forwards, and we'll just be able to get it done.
Yeah, awesome. And it's been a tough, 48 hours or so for the club with the news of Adam Selwood. I know a bit before your time, but what impact and what was the mood around the club heading into this week, and I guess some of the people that spoke to you before today's game about Adam's impact on the club?
Yeah, definitely our condolences, and we're thinking of the Selwood family. Obviously, Adam, I've heard he was such a selfless player. He was a ripper of a bloke and one of the kindest, most patient blokes to come through the club. So to hear the words from Woosh and Pikey and boys that I've had played with him, I guess we were just playing in the honour of him, and there was a lot Indigenous around as well. So footy was definitely a lot more than a game, and it was great that we could show out for the boys.
Great. I'll send it upstairs. We've got Clint Wheeldon, Mitch Turner, and our experts Peter Bell and Sharad Wellingham.
Ruben, congratulations on the win. First of all, there must have been a confidence that this type of 4-quarter performance wasn't too far away. The last month in particular, I've felt like you guys have been building towards this level of performance.
Yeah, for sure. I think I guess we put it all together today. Like, our mid-forward connection was a lot better. Our defence without Gov, obviously, he's a rock solid down there. But the younger boys stood up, Sandy and Harry, and they were elite down there. So I think it was about time we put a performance together for Minnie, and he deserves it, and all the new boys deserve it for sure.
And it felt like, particularly in that first half, just really organised team defence. You got a lot of in-out plays that ended up resulting in scores. So it seemed like you were really connected as a team.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're really working our communication behind the ball because we have a lot of young key defenders, and we're helping set up our midfielders and forwards. And we know Saints are a super hard-running team. They love to hit the short. So, we try to force them long, and that lets our forwards get to work.
And just one other element that I've noticed and has made you look so dangerous, the introduction of Liam Ryan and Tyler Brockman, who have both found, Tyler's found some really consistent form, and Liam looks to have found another new twist to his game by going into centre bounce.
Yeah, the spark those two give us in centre bounce is amazing. They do things a lot of boys can't do, so they're super electric up forward, and then when we can get him in a centre bounce with Fridge and Huey and Hales, it can be pretty dangerous in there.
Ruben Sharrett here, congratulations on the win, mate. It was a great watch. Talk to us about the evenness of the contribution from everybody. Like, we're up here kind of in the last couple of minutes of the game thinking, who do we give the votes out to? And it was tough from up here. How good is it having an even contribution from everybody?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell who was best on behind the ball, but I love the work of Hoffy in there. We were getting into him during the week because I think he was the fourth highest player with games without a goal. But, I think people could tell the way we got around him when he kicked his first snag. That was lovely. And I guess things like that really lift the boys. Like Liam Ryan's last quarter was amazing. Cripper runs all day. And to see Aussie come back forward and kick a few snags, that was great as well.
The elements from each game over the last month that you've picked out, can you identify a couple that you've really focused on that really clicked today?
Yeah, I think it's probably is that team defence. As a young team, you can it's a bit of a hard part of the game. Like if one person's out of place, it can stuff you up. But I think the communication behind the ball, the willingness for mids and forwards to buy into team defence really made it easy for us behind the ball to set up and force them long down the line.
And Baker coming in, and I think that there was again a massive game from Bakes. How good's it having his leadership and I suppose backline now there with you?
Yeah, Bakes is a tough little bugger, and the way he attacks the footy and the way he uses the footy has been elite for us. And his leadership down there has been great, along with Fridge as well. So it's been great to get he tackles like no tomorrow. So to get those boys to win, and Matty Owies as well has been great.
Ruben, Clint Wilden here. You talk about Bakes and how tough he is. The smother that he put on.
The Superman.
How good was that? Did you spot that from where you were?
Yeah, I was behind him like 10 metres in the goal square, so if that wasn't smothered, it was probably coming on top of my head. So appreciate efforts like that the most, and that's what we really celebrate as a team. It's not a lot about the goals and the showy stuff. That hard stuff is what we admire the most by him.
You talk about celebrations as well. There was a big one, and rightly so, as Brady Hoff gets his first goal. But Jack Graham also, everyone was aware his first goal in Eagles colours, and certainly they really got around him too.
Yeah, he's been a trooper for us inside. He probably does the hard stuff that doesn't really get seen. He tackles, does the clearances in and under, and for him to take six and get a goal in the yellow and blue is super amazing. And Hoffy as well. Can't wait to celebrate that with him.
For you, 50 games, congratulations. Always a big milestone to get to the half century. But just your 7th win today. As a young player, how do you deal with the frustration of coming into a side and the results aren't going your way?
Yeah, I think obviously 7 wins from 50 games isn't the best record, but it really makes you cherish the good times. And when we start winning more footy as this young group grows, it's only going to get better from here. And I think when you're a team that's under the pump, you mature a bit quicker. And in a lot of teams, I probably wouldn't have played 50 games by now. So I've been pretty lucky and to have the opportunity to play this much senior footy already.
Ruben, Mitch Turner here. You touched on it earlier in our chat just now, but do you get a sense when there's something like this that goes through a football club and a tragedy that sometimes, although you're on an 11-game losing streak, it is just a little bit bigger than football, and there's other factors at play for what it means to the people within the club. Obviously not yourself, but you've got coaches there, you've got long-time staff members that had a close relationship with Adam Selwood. Does it change the mood around that, about what football means and what the club means to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was a pretty sombre and thoughtful mood around the club yesterday, especially with the news coming in. So, we really got around the boys that knew him personally and the staff members, and we really came together as a group. And, we had a chat. This is a lot more about footy, but I think to do Sellers really proud, we'll just knuckle in as a team and celebrate the good things and, enjoy footy with our mates.
And Oscar Allen, you mentioned it before, but it just must be good to see him kick a couple of goals, get the applause from the crowd, which I'm sure he would love. And what does it mean to you see him find some form, and what does he mean to this group?
Yeah, we love him as our skipper. He's been he was down back with me for a few weeks. It was nice to have him there for 2 weeks, but I don't know if he'll come back down there. He probably plays his best footy as a forward, but yeah, we love Aussie, and he probably had a tough month a few months ago, but to see him back in kicking goals, happy again. Yeah, love playing with him and can't wait to play out the rest of the year.
Just one more from me. I'm really interested in your thoughts. We noticed it's been a plan and it seems to work really well. Jake Waterman dropping back late in quarters just to add something a bit different, add a bit more support late on.
Yeah, I think when you're trying to footy's a very strategic game, and when we're up by a couple of goals, we just want to ice the game out for the last few minutes. So get a spare behind the footy, whether that's Oscar or Jake, drop one of our forwards back that can help us in the air.
Ruben, did you mark Jack Higgins at any stage today? He's fairly slippery, isn't he?
Yeah, I had him a few times here and there. He probably got out. I don't know how many he kicked, but he's a real handy player. He's in
what
great
makes
form,
him so difficult, mate?
I think he just reads the ball before everyone does. He's quick, but he's not like Brad Hill, that kind of quick, but he just reads the play so well, and he doesn't miss it when he gets a shot at goal. So, yeah, he was great for them.
How early on in the game did you identify that they were really trying to burst the bubble and then try and get your back line out the back and catch you offside?
Yeah, I probably got out of position a couple of times in the first quarter, just was trying to play in front of the ball, and they got me out the back. And then I think we repositioned really well as a back line and realised they were trying to they were getting out the front, so that probably means you've got to reposition as a team, and that's when the team defence kicks in.
Do you reckon you'll have Jeremy McGovern back out there with you next week?
Yeah, I'm not too sure how Gov's tracking, but I'm sure if he can play, he'll definitely be out there with us. So hopefully his recovery is very soon, and we'd love to have him back.
You're fine without him?
I don't know about that.
Yeah. Great to chat to you after a win, Ruben. It's always good. You've always been great to us here on the ABC, and it's fantastic to have a yarn after you picked up the 4 points. Good luck. Enjoy.
Thanks, fellas. Appreciate it.
Ruben Jimmy downstairs. 50 games for him, so a milestone game as the Eagles get their first win of the year. 16-12, 108 to the Saints, 12-8, 80, a 28-point win.
It really is quite tough when you hear that number, that you go, oh, wow, he's played 50 games and only managed to come away with 7 wins. But I really liked his attitude towards it, that he goes, we're just going to cherish the wins when we are lucky enough to get them.
Which is why, and to pick up on that point, I'm a big believer in any young team, the concept of you got to win deep. What that means is, when you lose and you're on a losing streak like what Western, you review really hard and you go really deep into, why you lost, what you need to do better. I think the same thing or even more happens when you win. So let's talk about in our review, how did it feel out there when we were connected as a defence? What were you actually feeling? What were you relying on your teammates for? What did that trust look like? And you want people to really
grasp what they do so that then when it's not happening the next week, right, you're aware of it.
You've got to be in touch with what it actually feels like as a player, and then you realise that's what we want again, and we've got to just continually try and grab that elusive feeling, and you've got to win deep into that and learn from that so that it becomes more commonplace, it becomes more frequent, and gradually over time you're doing that more and more. Too often I think the tendency is to, we've had a win, it's a relief, that's great. But really get into it, get into the feeling of it, and pat yourself on the back, because that's what we're here for. We're here to win games of footy, so you need the reward, you need the nourishment of actually enjoying that together.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll talk about Euro, the Saints as well, who've now lost 5 of their past 6. So they are on a massive slide, considering they started their season 3-1 and knocked off sides like Geelong and Port Adelaide in pretty good wins. They are going the other way. You just posed the question earlier, Bally. I thought I'd check.
Cheekily.
When was the last time that the Eagles and the Dockers, Walyalup and Wallich-Marrow, won on the same weekend? Eerily enough, it was a year ago exactly. It's the 18th of May today. It was
round 10?
It was the 19th of May last year, round 10. Fremantle on the 18th beat St Kilda to get their win over at Docklands. And the Eagles, that was the day they knocked off Melbourne, the Demons, by 35 points. The Harley Reid special on the 19th. It is, 364 days, technically.
Well, there we go. It's been a year.
Unless it was a leap year last year. Then
round 10's always been good for WA footy, hasn't it?
So there you go. Literally a year since we've seen both sides here in the West get a win. But as I said, St Kilda, Euroka, they're going the other way, and I wouldn't want to be in that press conference.
Well, the thing that we mentioned during the call was that their inability to have a different avenue or a different way of playing the game, and relying too heavily on one angle.
Yeah, I guess Max King, you'd think when and if he becomes available, is going to make a difference to their having more options in how you're moving the ball, being more able to take that
down
long down the line, that
Yeah.
long one-on-one. So maybe that's one part of it. And the other part of it, just digressing somewhat, is maybe that's why there is the eagerness to attract Tom De Koning. He comes in, you get Rowan Marshall up into the forward line, and he's a very good forward. Excellent ruckman, by the way, but that gives you a bit more flexibility to play that type of style with a King and a Marshall up forward, knowing that your ruck's in good stocks with someone like Tom De Koning.
Yeah.
Want to have a look at some of the numbers? We'll take you downstairs for the St Kilda Euro press conference with Ross Lyon. Good luck to the journos down there in just a moment, and then I'll also give our experts a chance to think of their 3-2.
You know what they say in the loss? I've heard this. You might have heard this scuttlebutt. In the loss, Ross tends to answer the first question, and it takes like 3 minutes. But in the win, it's a much shorter answer. So we'll be watching on red alert.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're alluding to, and I don't have this crystal ball. But today's story is tomorrow's fish and chips paper.
There's no silver bullet here, Mitch.
As they say, let the cobblers do the cobbling. Now, contested possessions actually went the way of Euro. They won that by 14, 147 to 133. The inside 50s were 59 to 54, the way of Woolwich Marawa. The hitouts 45 to 42, the way of the Eagles as well, which is a rarity on occasion for them. Euro won the clearances 43 to 36. The tackle count, the way of the Eagles, 67 to 65. Individually, disposals-wise, Jack Sinclair had the most on the ground. He had 38 touches to go with 953 metres gained and 11 inside 50s. Wangani Miller had 27 touches. He spent most of the last quarter on the bench nursing an injury. Rowan Marshall, 27 touches, 8 marks, 40 hit-outs, 5 clearances, 5 tackles and a goal. He was absolutely massive today. Jack McRae with 27, Callum Wilkie with 24, Brad Hill with 22. Looking across at some of the numbers for Woolwich Marawa in the end and their disposal count, they were led by Brady Hoff, the defender turned midfielder at the moment, had 24. Ryan Marrick had 22 out of the back half. Liam Duggan had 21, the co-captain. Baker with 18, Jack Graham with 17, and Matt Flynn, actually pretty respectable numbers. I thought he was okay today. I would love to hear your thoughts, Sheridan Bally. He had 17 touches, 5 marks, 30 hit-outs and 5 clearances as well as a goal. So
yeah, I thought he was.
Although Marshall had a really, really good game, actually, I'd love to ask the question, he's copped a little bit in the media, and there's been talk again the Eagles need to find the ruck, find their next ruck. Do they go to a secondary or third ruck at a team over East and try and lure them across as the one? But I don't think he's been that bad. He's just come up against really good
injured
rucks.
a little bit, and so you're going to
That's
a game
not a bad
underdone.
That's not a
I'm talking about
game.
throughout the year. Sorry, I'm going to sneeze. It went away. But I think that his run hasn't been great to the start of the season, and so he's gone into games underdone. But I think that what he's shown is that he can be number one ruckman with, like we said just before, a great backup ruckman and a really good forward in Bailey J. Williams.
Let's have a look at how the ladder is after round 10. Collingwood, having played 10, are on top, 32 points, winning 8 of their games. The Lions, shock loss for them today, going down by 11 points. The Demons, having played 10, they've got 30 points. They've won 7, drawn 1. The Suns are in third. They've only played the 9 games, 28 points, winning 7, losing the 2. The Hawks have dropped. They're down to 4th, played 10, 28 points, have won 7 of their 10. The Bulldogs are in 5th. Terrific win for them last night. Huge victory as well over the Bombers. Played 10, 24 points, 6 wins, 4 losses. The Crows are in 6th, played 10, 24 points, 6 wins, 4 losses. The Cats played 10, 24 points, 6 wins, 4 losses. And then rounding out the top 8 at the moment, the Giants are there on percentage, 107.4, 5-5 from their 10 games. The Dockers are out of the 8 on percentage. Their percentage 100.1, 5-5, 20 points from 10 games. The Bombers have played 1 game less, played 9, won 5, lost 4, 20 points. Carlton are in 11th, 16 points, 1-4, lost 6 with 10. So too for the Swans. So too the Saints, who dropped to 13th. Their percentage is down to 91. The Demons also played 10, 1-4, lost 6, 16 points and a percentage of 82.6, but they've climbed to 14th with their win today. The Power in 15th, dropping down after their loss on the weekend. They've won 4 of their 10. They've got 16 points. The Tigers with 12 points from their 10 games. They've won 3, lost 7. North Melbourne, 1-2, 1 draw of their 10. They've got 10 points. And the Eagles with their first win of the year. They still remain in 18th, but they've been able to have a little bit of boost to their percentage. It's gone from 61% to 66.6%, but they remain in last spot. They've got the Crows on Sunday, the early game next. The Eagles, while the Saints have got the Suns at the Docklands. That's the late game on Sunday. Well, we wait to see if the press conference is going to take place. Let's get our votes in the ABC Football of the Year and the Christian Medal, gentlemen.
Very tough one.
Yeah, it was. Just before that, usually I'd be an advocate for, with a young rebuilding team like West Coast, that you'd want to have your bye early, just to say guys that are sore or younger guys not being able to recover as well as a seasoned athlete would. But the form that they're in, it's good that they just keep it rolling from here, and they're not going off to a bye, I think, in the next month or so. They've got a late bye. Let's get to the votes, because it was very tough, and potentially I'm going to get criticised for this because it was a comprehensive victory to West Coast, but I thought the 2 best players on the ground, Sharad, were from Euroke. And the best player on the ground, I thought, was Rowan Marshall. His numbers and influence were staggering, really, for Iraq. He slipped forward and kicked that goal late as well. But, the 40 hit-outs, 5 clearances, 5 tackles, 18 contested possessions, 8 marks and a goal. They're remarkable. Huge numbers, 27 disposals. So 3 to Marshall, 2 to Sinclair. Bit disappointed that he didn't bring up 1,000 metres gained like John Noble and Bailey Dale did, but those he's halfback mid, he slips all over the place, really. He's just a utility, but 38 possessions, and he gets a lot of multi-possession change, if you like. Yeah. So, I thought you had to have him in the top 2. And even to find West Coast's best player was pretty tough, and in the end, gone with Brady Hoff. Not just because of the first goal in his career, but just the intensity, the attack that he gives, and also the balance in his game. I just thought he was an impactful player for Woolwich Maroowa.
Well, Paul Roos would be unhappy because he said, lucky there's no medal. Surely whoever wins the medal has to be on the winning team. But no medal today. So Rowan Marshall, I agree, by the way. Rowan Marshall.
He had the 3 Brownlow votes in their meeting last week.
He was the best player on the ground.
And Sinclair had 2 Brownlow votes in their last meeting last year.
Sinclair was really good too. So West Coast with the 1 vote to Hoff. He gets the 3 in the
Yes, he does. Liam Baker gets the 2. Lower possession. What did he end up with? 18, but high impact. Everything he did was quality. I really only saw him, and you called it, Sharad, make 1 mistake today.
Where you could see what he was trying to do. He was trying to lure them into that.
He was trying to be assertive in defence, and he just got up. And if you're going to leave your opponent in press, you've got to influence, because otherwise you know where it's going out the back. And he just miscalculated and couldn't influence the contest. But other than that, he gave great bounce. He gave great leadership. He was tough. He was coming forward in defence all the time, which was very much what McQualter would have been looking for, and he led from the front. And the 1 vote, Liam Ryan's had a really good year. Really good year. We poked a bit of fun at him for the way that he was warming up after half-time. Like, we almost needed to get a Zimmer frame out there for him. And then he was electric. But really good in centre bounce, along with Tyler Brockman.
And at important times too.
Yep, scoring threat. You know what he also does that I reckon he's underrated for? He halves contests that he shouldn't really have the ability to do, but he just finds a way. I mean, it helps when you're athletic as what he is, but he gets a hand in, he brings it to ground, and often he's the first one who's buttering up from his own aerial contest as well. So I thought he was really dangerous all day and worked hard, really hard, and that extra element of centre bounce work is looking quite dangerous for Woolwich Maroowa.
He's been so good this year, I agree, Billy. You've pointed that out on a number of occasions.
He's putting together a sneaky good year. Yeah, sneaky good year in a pretty tough circumstance so far.
Yeah, the effort.
2 goals for him. 11 different goal kickers, which we should have mentioned as well for the Eagles. They did like to share it around. Ryan Waterman Allen, Reid and Bailey J. Williams all getting 2 goals.
And I acknowledge that in a 28-point victory, which always looked reasonably comfortable for Woolwich Marrawah, it is unusual to have the 2 best players on the opposite side. It's not something that I can really recall happening much at all.
But it felt like Euro were always coming off the back of those guys putting them in the game.
Yeah. But, you can't deny the influence those two had, in my opinion.
It's incredible Sunday when you think about it, because you would have backed Richmond to beat North. I know North were able to get a draw against Brisbane, but down in Hobart, where North do play particularly well and always have, and Richmond were able to get the result against West Coast. They were looking for their 4th win of the year. North hang on, and gee, it was close. They win by 4 points. And then the Demons, who have been, up and down, to say the least, after what was an awful start for the season for them, go up to Brisbane, who you thought would respond with just getting a draw against North Melbourne, not to be. And the Demons, who were trailing from about the 21-minute mark of the first term all the way through to very, very late, around about the 16-minute mark of the final term, they find a way to win Melbourne. Well done to Simon Goodwin. They get the victory. They're up by 11 points. And then here, we actually thought West Coast were half a chance, but they still had to win. And for a team without a victory this season, that is sometimes a bigger challenge than you could imagine, on top of all the emotion that they've had to deal with over the last 36 hours or so. Their first victory of the season, they've rolled the Saints here by 28 points, 16-12, 108 to 12-880. It all gets underway next week. Geelong versus the Western Bulldogs. Bailey Smith, won't there be a bit of chat about him over the next week or so, going back to face his old side?
A little of the lustre out of that game with no Patrick Dangerfield, who's been a bit of a...
Wasn't that carnage last night?
Well, it was 4 hamstrings.
Yardapulsi and Geelong, that was incredible.
Yeah.
They're not as bad. Jason Horne-Francis are not as bad as first thought, but...
Looked up high.
Yeah, today they said it's not as long-term.
Thank you, gentlemen.
It's been a long time for a press conference.
They should be fined.
Yeah.
They won't be.
It feels like
it's over half an hour.
Yeah, they're usually doing that, aren't they? And who goes first?
Euro put out an email release saying that they would go first, no matter of the result, because they want to get
away. Yeah. Maybe Ross has still got them in the room.
I reckon it makes the journos more nervous as they wait. Still no press conference. Apologies to St Kilda fans. We were hoping to bring that to you. On behalf of the Inside Team, Clint Wilton signing off for now. The Eagles have got their first win of the season by 28 points over the Saints. It all starts on Thursday. The Cats and the Bulldogs here on ABC Sport. Thanks for your company across the weekend.
New from ABC.